much from catnap, would you? None of us are super short rest heavy, right?
No.
I don't think so.
I would think you, but that's it.
I can do.
You can get spells back on short rests under your level and stuff like that at certain levels, correct?
Yes, I have arcane recovery, which allows me to do some limited recovery
and
on
if you
short
have
rest.
catnap, you can make it quick for yourself. So I guess utility-wise, it's and maybe.
Oh no, yeah, me too.
Only other, you get your blood maledictions on short rest and long rest.
Yep, that's
so
fun.
That works, but also it could just work on anyone that took a real beating.
Yeah,
like I feel like if you guys needed to move on but wanted to burn some hit dice, especially for your self-care, if you took a hit or two, that's too bad.
I stubbed my toe. I need a hit dice. Damn it.
Stub toe falls down a 30-foot.
Touches book, dies of 1d4 book damage.
Book damage.
Paper cut.
Yeah.
Bleeds to death.
I promise, I'm done. I won't get up again.
Nate, you're gonna need to allow me to.
Let me reach my sugar in this. Excuse me.
Guys, you are excused.
Okay, now you can be done.
You are excused.
Again,
How's the
what
music
was I
sounding
holding?
for?
I was supposed to be holding something.
Yes.
I'm trying to pick a new spell.
I'm thinking about what I'm getting for third
Turn
level.
on. Is the bar already
Fourth?
put on for?
You mean the bar?
Third level spells.
Oh,
I
I
mean
know.
spells.
Yeah.
We're all
Interesting.
fourth level.
There's a power shift. Whatever.
Yeah.
That works, I guess. Yeah, I have no idea what
Oh,
you're
third.
talking about.
Okay. I was about to say, like, we don't get third levels yet.
We get them at fifth.
Yes.
One more level.
One more level.
That's gonna go out soon. That's motion detector.
Well, no, I clicked it on.
Oh.
There's an actual light fixture.
If it goes out during the session, it'd be kind of fun.
Oh, thank you.
I cast darkness.
Cast darkness.
Just starts screaming for no reason. Little do we know, he's terrified of the dark. Just happens in
Already
session.
knew. I'm actually surprised I made it for this session. I really did not think I
Same.
was going to make
Yeah,
it.
you were telling me you were going to make it like...
It's either it's.
Greetings, friends, and welcome back to Tales of Ithalian. We're a group of nerds and odd ducks play D&D. I'm your storyteller, JARON Noble. I don't think that there is any sort of updates or things to be said, so without further ado, get comfy, and let's begin. Last we left off with the menagerie. They were delving once again into the catacombs that they found themselves in. They found their way past the door that had blocked them previously, giving the right name to the question. After this, the menagerie walked through this door and traveled downwards into yet another hallway. A cold, lonely place, filled with split-off rooms that held wall fountains with strange waters within them. The group discovered texts and rhyming inscriptions on the sealed door at the end of the hall, revealing that there was some curse that was laid on the individual that was bound to this place. More text as well found on the fountains, rhymes. Slowly, the menagerie began to piece this puzzle together, during which time, the figure of a beautiful woman showed herself in ethereal light, beginning to pursue one of you that were meeting her eye contact throughout the hall. The party was very quick to act as initiative was rolled. Solving this puzzle, and with one last dance to this ethereal woman given to by care, she was released from this place that had kept her here for so long. The door at the end of this hall was opened, having been sealed before. You all came into a final resting room, where you found a smooth cone of stone that had a staircase leading up to a final coffin, holding the body of a Lord Raven within it. Upon forcing it open, you found the item that was cursing the catacombs and graveyard above. A steel and silver twisting circlet with dull black metal thorns. A snake head at the front that holds a white crystal within its mouth. A voice coming from this, who was ever holding it, was offering a bargain to those willing. Instead, it was MacGuffin to all heck as the menagerie broke the crystal and circlet into several parts. You all then came out of the catacombs to find an empty graveyard. No dead walking. Names slowly beginning to fill into the once empty tombstones. But as you went to collect your items of reward with the body of this stranger, you found that they had been taken by your newly acquainted thief, Ruby, who had run off to where you assume is Rebton with her note. Getting back to your horses, the menagerie went through the trail of overarching branches and trees, and you began to move your way back to the Neuron Highway, making your way onwards to Rebton. And that is where we left off. So, Menagerie, what are you doing as you slowly trail away from this path?
Who took the lady's note? Who?
That's up to you all.
I would like to take it if no one else is going to claim it.
Alright.
Remind me what the lady's name was, real quick, because I have it written down somewhere, probably.
Are you talking about the thief?
The thief, yes, please.
Ruby.
Ruby.
And you do notice that as you are beginning to ride out of this forest, that there is some difference, as was mentioned a little bit last session before, but around where there used to be dead earth, it is all beginning to look more healthy again as you ride through this dead section of wood. Color is being breathed back into the earth as small clumps of grass are beginning to grow within the prior dead ground. The dirt itself is now slowly coming back to a living brown instead of a almost dark charred black. The small cuts and cracks within the dirt and earth that are spread about are beginning to seal and heal over. The small dried scars that litter the area are now on the mend. The trees themselves are beginning to grow once again. The deep, dark trunks have begun to lengthen and once again widen. They are not at that stage of full recovery, but they are slowly making their way back to health. It is barely noticeable, but it's there, considering how long you guys have been here and in this area. Natural color coming to this small thick of forest. You assume that they will be reaching much higher than the 7 feet that they arc over you. You now notice that the once leafless branches now beginning to show promise. The intersecting branches that made this hall over you as you came into this clearing are now beginning to crack and break apart as the trees grow to a more natural size, slowly but surely. Already you see some small twigs beginning to fall all around you in this path. This will take time, but the forest will heal to its full potential.
How are you feeling, little one?
I'm sorry. My bones don't hurt as much anymore.
I assume...
You see Cedric's head slinks into his shoulders and armor slightly. So he tries to burrow his dwarf head into his plate armor.
I try not to look at him.
He learned a thing or two from Jesidiah.
That's good to hear.
You can make Satyr spells.
So after we got everything back on the road, I kind of take a moment to inspect the sides of the cart where we scraped it along the wood to actually hide it in the trail. How's the cart sides looking?
Taking a look at it, The wheel was the thing that kind of like popped off.
Okay.
Was the big main fix for this thing. Besides that, it was much more of like scrapes or surface level scratches. Nothing that couldn't be repainted over. The flames have taken a bit of a licking. Same with the darker color.
Do you want me to do a job?
No, he's not.
Yes, I do.
You
I
will have
think I do.
to make
I
it.
think
But
I do.
it looks like just like thin nails have like been scraped across at certain parts. Not doing a ton of damage, but most definitely just making some cutting lines within the paint job overall.
Dare they key our car?
I think we keyed our own car.
I'm trying not to like be pleased a little bit by this. Like, yes, all that hard work for nothing.
I'll help paint it again.
Christ.
Wait, weren't you two on a horse?
I think we're sharing a horse, yeah.
Yeah, and
He's in front and
Yeah.
actually like holding the reins, and I'm like there for the ride, looking at my cards over his shoulder. Maybe like back saddle driving. I think you do it this way. No, this way.
You know, go a little more left.
Yeah, you do see that on the much lighter tone, almost like the yellowish. It's almost like cream-colored horse of Holly is what they're riding right now. As CAEDRIK is walking nearby, keeping an eye on his horse, and not too pleased with the child that's like kind of going in the direction along the Neuron Highway. But he is not saying anything.
Out of character, I'm so glad I came up with that name.
I thought Satyr was in the back of the wagon
Yeah.
with me because we were going to try to re-piece together his hammer.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you're on your horse, and then
I'm
Abigail's driving.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
What am
Who's
I?
Abigail? Aneth.
Oh my god.
And
We'll start with A.
Who's that?
Thank you.
so, are you actually planning to fight this Ruby when we get to Rebton? She does have our rewards.
The items that were stolen, I have no interest in, so therefore, you guys want them, you guys can take her.
That's fair enough. It was a shield and a cloak.
A shield and
It
cloak.
was a shield and a cloak, and I have the sword.
I look around the party. I don't know how many of us would get use out of a shield, but which
You
that
see
would be-
his small, like, round buckler.
Okay,
that's
so he does use one.
slung
Okay,
over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
Along
does.
with his spear, he just looks back to you as you say that.
Such a cool
The
kill.
purple tiefling rust hair, and he looks to you, smiles, and gives you a three-fingered hand
do
wave.
you want to go and fight in a gladiator's pit? I feel like that would be interesting for your attributes.
Probably better than just fighting ghosts.
That is
Probably a bit more fun
fair.
too. Bit more well regulated.
Immediately, Coil's eyes immediately light up, and he looks straight over to DATH'TAN. We should paint his shield.
Wait, what?
Paint his shield with this. Paint.
Paint his shield?
Yes.
The one that he has now?
No, the one that we're talking about getting.
If we get it back.
If we get it, but
If we-
then what would we paint on it? Just a slight chuckle. Just a slight chuckle.
By the way, Coil now sees you as like the resident painter of the group, so that's why he immediately looked over to you. You're the artist.
You're the hardest.
I mean,
Okay, sometimes it's paint, other times it's blood. That's beside the point.
most likely it's blood. I mean, we'll see how much
Fair.
paint we have left after I touch up the card. But I'm pretty sure we will have a lot of paint left.
We're painting your shield.
Right? Maybe something good though.
I'm gonna make him peace.
Alright.
So I believe that Lux's caravan wasn't too far ahead.
They should be about a few days in front of us. We only left a day behind them, but then that took us about a day.
And then we met. I don't remember who we met along the road that was coming towards us. They said
that
they were
Air
only
Cochrane Trader, if I remember
It was a
correctly.
trader.
yes.
That's how I got that
He was a
potion.
larger owl,
Got it.
Air Cochrane fellow who was selling some things. And yeah, you guys were beginning to catch, but then you did take some time at
Fair
both
enough.
the graveyard,
We took it there.
because you took a long rest after the graveyard,
Got it.
and then delved into the catacombs, came up, short rested, and went back down into the catacombs.
Got it.
So,
Wait, we rested up to the graveyard?
After the first
Oh, the
foray.
first?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have not
okay.
rested as of
no,
yet.
yeah, you
Okay.
guys have not rested after.
Yeah, what time of day is it roughly?
At this point,
Just like
you guys
looking up at the
rested.
sun.
One moment doing math from several sessions, I can take a look.
Math is hard.
It is. It's been a week and a half.
You should have said it's been a fat week.
Why specifically that?
What? Yeah.
Alright.
Dummy thick week.
Been a dummy thick week.
Oh,
I don't know. I
good.
say a fat minute.
That's right.
And that's what I thought about. I was like, you're fat.
The well-known menagerie
Has-
catchphrase. It's been a fat week, y'all.
Fat week.
So I'd say that, if I'm not mistaken, because you guys took a long rest, woke up in the morning, and delved into the catacombs. Took about 45 minutes to get down, 45 minutes to get back up. Took a short rest, and so that's 2 hours. Then you delved, spent a bit of time in the hall, got to the final place, and by one part of the end, it was probably over an hour, and then tracked back up. So you're looking about midday,
Midday.
and from where you are at within the year, it is still nicer weather. This is still warm sun. Nothing too crazy, not too hot, not too cold. Not that hot would bother you much, but it's a bit past noon, you
Alright.
assume.
Push till nightfall like normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Those ghosts.
So I believe traveling until nightfall towards Rebton is the order of the day.
At what speed? What is your travel pace that you guys are going for?
A little
The-
slower than normal. I'm
You guys are
assuming
going
at
a
this
bit
point.
slower than what it would normally be because you have a wagon.
Mhm.
You guys are
So typical wagon speed.
Yeah. The
That's
same
what
pace that we were
says.
trying to do before, like, probably not trying to catch up to the caravan, but also not trying to go super slow.
sure. Well, yeah. There's normally like a fast, normal, or slow pace. I'm
Yep.
just wondering, like, are you guys
Normal.
pushing your
Normal.
Okay, sure. Okay,
The 20 miles a day, I think it was, or
it's
whatever.
24 technically, but with the wagon, you'll probably be going one or
Sure.
two under.
Which is fine.
Is it 30 miles fast and then 18 slow?
30 miles fast.
30 miles
18
fast,
slow.
24 normal, 18
Got
slow.
it. Okay.
Good on you.
Let's
But yeah,
look
with
right
the wagon,
down.
whatever pace you set, it's more
Sure.
or less of. All right. So traveling and pushing on, Naysayer and Stranger are the ones hooked to the wagon.
Okay.
So as they make their way, Bob is, you know,
Brad.
Brad,
Brad.
not Bob. That's right, because yeah, you loved Brad.
Love Brad.
It's that entire thing. I can't believe you guys.
I can't wait until I accidentally on purpose kill Brad.
Accidentally on purpose.
I'm glad that he has it all figured out, like what he's gonna,
Yeah.
how he's gonna do it.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, we're all idiots.
So, You guys push on until nightfall. Perception checks for whoever's going to be doing that. I will say, pretty
I've got
easily.
other. I
You'll-
would say I would have had other things focusing on.
Sure, I'm saying, but with mending, hammer's going to be put back together.
Yeah.
It would take a little bit. Normally, I would have CAEDRIK make a roll, but he's not here. So I will say, with some time,
Thank you.
the hammer is pieced back together.
I think the highest wisdom among us are inside the cart together.
Okay, so while those two are working on a hammer,
I have
2 to
bad
3 that would
perception.
roll for perception.
I have horrible perception.
Can you use kindness?
I have a 10.
11.
Nice.
And the third?
Nate? Do you want to roll for
SAAKA.
care?
Coil.
For which?
Coil? Perception.
Perception.
Perception. My perception is probably awful.
No, it's not.
Never mind, it's not bad.
What do you got?
There you go.
I believe his perception is
Nice.
plus 4.
20.
You got the best.
There you go.
perception out of all of us.
Yeah.
The child did better than us.
The child.
Yeah.
He's like.
Keeping-
He's like trying to
above
look
his-
over the head of the horse.
Yeah, you're like looking side to side, and Care, you have to like stop him from sliding off sometimes as he like tries to peek too
Flops
far.
over.
But surprisingly enough, him and like just having fun riding Holly, you do manage to keep your eyes a bit more peeled than the wizard who's trying to watch over you. And Brad is keeping you pretty well distracted as well, as he sometimes is a horse that can command respect and therefore will push back on you as you ride, but nothing that you can't handle. However, it keeps you from having the sharpest eyes, DATH'TAN. Riding on the Neuron Highway, there seems to be no real immediate threat. There's, once again, like every once in a while, there will be a passerby that is coming towards you, either just some random farmhand who maybe looks to be a wayward traveler, just making his way in a direction that is past you guys. But besides that, it's the same open grass fields, small thicks of dozens of feet of bushes and forest. Wind and breeze will pass by. You will see like some wildlife, such as small squirrel, bunny, things of the like, but nothing that immediately stands out to you as you keep your eyes on the horizon coil of anything immediately dangerous.
I look up to Carrie messing with his cards with just the biggest grin on my face. I am the horse whisperer.
Yes, that you are, Coil. I look down at the horse, which I have begun to like hate and fear. Yes, that is exactly what you are doing. Keep doing a good job.
Yay. He's proud of me for once.
I will kill you, horse.
Once you guys get to Rebton, Holly and Care are going to be in the pits.
And the horse kills Care.
No, it's like a gladiator pit. One end is Carrie, the other is just a fucking horse. Oh no.
Okay. So, as sun begins to set, night begins to crown the night sky. Moonlight shining down upon you, bright stars. The sun has burnt out and it's a cool night. How late into the night are you guys going?
Probably until just dark, right?
Until it starts getting dark. I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
So we can,
So yeah, but what's dark? Because night hours are night hours.
like sunset.
Sun is like
Maybe 1 or 2 hours after sunset.
Yeah, let's go
8,
like,
9 p.m.
What's the old man's bedtime?
8, 9 p.m.
Okay, so about 9 when the sun is truly set. Traveling the same sand and salt-colored road, you pull off to one side with the wagon. Begin to lay down knapsacks, cook whatever small meal that you can either catch for the night or rations you have.
Mine's a toilety.
Oh no.
Yeah, SAAKA, by the way, still stinks. She has like flecked off most of the gunk and like green mossy goo that's been on her, but she like her hair is like dried, and you can see that there's like almost it looks like dried throw up. There's green gunk that is just turned into crusty something on her hair. She is not the best to be around right now.
She doesn't really care either.
I hope we get to a river soon.
I'm gonna be sick.
Do you not have any sort of spell that can at least temporarily take care of this?
I've been praying for Yeffin to strike me with thunder for the past few hours. Cedric's holding his nose on his plate.
Excuse you.
What's the one
Take care of this?
Oops. Cleans.
Yeah.
Prestidigitation, if I recall. No, I do not have that.
Care's not classic.
Does anyone have
I can.
pastrami?
Pastrami. I would love some pastrami.
Last thing you need is pastrami.
I'm gonna
Oh,
go
shut it.
touch up the cart.
I'll help.
So, if you want to assist him, DATH'TAN can get advantage, or you two can make your own rolls.
What would it be?
I think we did sleight of hand and performance for it.
Sleight of hand. Yeah.
Sleight of handed performance. All right.
So, are you assisting him, or are you?
I'm gonna do my own roll.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, as far as I remember as well, I can check through my notes, but the like orangish gold was the most filled up, while the black and white were roughly half,
Yeah.
a little over half. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just doing a touch-up job?
Yeah.
No
So
other
just-
details, no nothing?
Just redoing what I did.
Sure thing. So this won't use up much paint at all.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh, here, let me help.
Going
Big paw print.
sleight of hand first.
On his face.
On Dad's face.
What?
Here, let me help.
He was saying paw print on DATH'TAN's face.
Give me your best war face.
Is it sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand first, then performance.
Yes.
It's kind of like how you do with the touching up and then the final product.
24.
24. Nice.
16.
16 total? Good. As you begin to use the brushes of the paint and one by one go over each line, you look down DATH'TAN to your side and you see COIL like hopping to try and get stuff that's clearly out of his reach, but he's wanting to be tall like you in the moment, so he's trying to reach it, and it's like flecking and putting some spots on it that like some of the cut of the white now has a bit of black to it, and some of the cut of the diagonal slant of black that is the front end of the wagon now has like silverish white, but he is doing a pretty good job.
Eventually, I give up and just start casting each hands to hold the paintbrush.
Now it's looking much better.
Performance,
I had to
right?
detect.
Performance and performance.
7, 8.
17.
Okay, wow, yeah,
All right.
solid.
23.
Performance is my
Okay.
best stat.
The final
Or
product
best skill.
Looks pretty well fixed up. There's a few like splatter marks, just like small, tiny dots that are flecked in areas that they shouldn't be. But overall, the cart itself is fully painted once again. There is no more scratch marks or any of paint that looks to be peeled or marked up.
No more jumping. If you are painting, no more jumping.
The fiery wings flare out once again
I
at
don't
full
think they'll
paint.
notice if the whole thing's on fire, though. But okay.
Still,
Do not question
do
me.
not question.
Could punt you like 5 miles.
You know, you probably could.
Is Coil talking to Dash?
No.
Vice versa. Okay,
I was making a joke at Death
Gotcha.
and talking to Coil.
gotcha. And who's doing night watch, if any?
Kindness?
I can take first shift.
Kindness takes all shifts. You can
Okay.
take first shifts if you want.
You're a
So
little-
just the snakes watching out?
I think he's doing first shift with kindness, and kindness is covering the other 2 shifts. I can take a shift as well.
You're a
I'll
little
take
shift.
second.
Kindness can only look in one direction.
Kindness can only look in one direction. More eyes are always good, as well as more noses.
Okay. So first shift, Kelsion and Boa Constrictor, Kindness.
Does this involve a smell?
Technically, yes. You are looking out for like anything.
Okay, the black will be sight and green will be the advantage for smell. Yikes. 10.
10 for sight.
10 just in general.
Ah,
10 is the highest of those 2.
gotcha. Kindness is a bit hungry. And you notice that the head is like beginning to look towards rats or like the scent of small mammals as you warg into him once or twice before lying down on the knapsack.
I didn't know you could eat. Explains so much.
That's why rations have just gone missing.
You've experienced that they don't need it to survive,
Uh-huh.
but it's a bit more for pleasure. As,
Gotcha.
You have given kindness food before in the past. And you've used kindness as a threatening weapon before.
Yes, this is true.
18.
18. Yeah. On the side of the road that you are looking about, not much. You look to the inner aisle. You see that further off, the thick of the forest that comes with the main central aisle miles out within Nokayo. You see standalone cliffs, large stone bodies. Looking back to much closer to where you are, the trail of the Neuron Highway takes the outer route of the island. No one. Not a soul seems to be traveling tonight.
That's good for now.
Are you doing anything, Kelsion, while you're on your night watch?
Now,
Okay.
much really to do for right now.
After a few hours, you go and who are you shaking awake? I think that there was some talk, but who are you actually waking up, Kelsion?
She's gonna kill me if I wake her up. I have a better chance of living. I'm gonna go wake DATH'TAN up.
So, DATH'TAN, you get shaken awake a few hours into your rest. Kelsion with some
My
tired
turn.
eyes.
Your turn.
Okay.
As you go and you begin looking about yourself, pacing a few steps in either direction of the road. Go ahead and make a perception check.
6.
6.
Fair roll for kindness.
Been rolling.
Yeah.
Okay. The sight's only going to be a 4, and the higher is the scent, which is going to be a 6.
We're getting mugged.
Kindness is holding strong and doing as you asked, which is to keep watch, but
Watching a tree grow.
it is more or less that you didn't think to put her at any vantage point to slither up a nearby forest thick of 100 feet out. She's just flat on the ground with you all and cannot see much. As there are patches of tall grass within the fields about, it's just a turning head side to side.
Yes, this dote is made of dote.
DATH'TAN,
I don't see anything, do I?
looking around. Not much. And you are very tired. As you groggily are wiping your eyes, look around. Nothing. You guys are parked off to the right side of the road, and as you stand there, you see something shift, wide berth within tall grass, maybe 200 to your northeast, 200 feet out. Something is beginning to move within the tall grasses. Night sky giving you plenty of light to look over in the direction.
I want to try to listen if I can hear anything else. If I could make another perception check.
Sure.
Heightened senses, because I'm trying to listen for it.
Okay. So, putting your ear to the ground, beginning to try and listen for something closer.
$12.
As you put your ear to the ground, nothing. Listening. You've been taught, you've been trained. It's like nothing's there.
Just gonna keep an eye out in that area.
As you stand up straight, you look. Wipe your groggy, tired eyes. There's nothing in the tall grass. No wide berth, no movement. Thick of forest, maybe 100 feet off to your northwest. One of the large hedge bushes shakes. Do you remember? Step out.
Is the snake anywhere near me?
You turn and the road behind you is gone. Your friends, allies, acquaintances, whatever they are to you, no longer there. The wagon disappeared. Just you now, a few feet off of what used to be the Neuron Highway. As you turn, you remember these places, remember these things.
Draw my sword and walk out.
As you go, you draw what should be a broadsword, but instead it's just a hefty tool. Almost like a very basic wrench, a thick wooden hilt, metal end that you can screw to open and close like a clamp. But this is what you wielded that night. Step out.
I keep walking outwards.
As you take a single step forward, a large hand, silver fur, black, hooked claws dig into the ground from this thick of forest. How did you fare? Your move.
I keep walking towards it.
Step by step, shaking breath, you begin to make your way towards this thick of forest. As you do, with each step, this thing begins to reveal itself. You remember it well. As it steps out, you see this large, silver-furred werewolf. Massive in size. What you've been explained to is that of an almost alpha lineage of these things.
Dad?
as it goes and stands to its full height. You remember them, but the eyes are gone, almost shaded over. The fangs, though, shining and gleaming in the night. With each step, it doesn't run, it doesn't bolt like it normally did, or what it did that night. It steps towards it. Step by step, the two of you begin to draw closer in the middle of this field.
This time, I'm not defenseless.
You were then. This thing silently stalks towards you with each step. Nearly 4 feet taller than you by the time that you step in, or maybe 4 or 5 feet away from it. It stops. Its head just lolling, hanging towards the ground. You continue to stand there. Do you continue forward?
Continue forward.
You step towards it until you are right up to pretty much its breadbasket, where its chest is. And it just doesn't move. Stares down, and as you look up, you're staring into dark shadow of eyes. A tongue just barely lolling out from the fanged mouth.
Take a deep breath, and I swing at it.
Go ahead and roll. Add +4. What is it?
I roll a 3.
You lift your arm, but with no power. You just bring it to its chest as it touches. Just
Do
slowly
I feel
slides down.
resistance on it? No.
It's physically there. As your hand just slowly slides down the body. You were nothing before me, puppet. You won't be afterwards. Only I make you strong. Remember that. You can't hold me.
I want to swing again. $17.
17. You bring up this tool, you swing against it, and you hit, but just at an awkward angle, and it just bounces off the thick, muscular hide of this thing as it looks down. I'll see you again. Soon. With that, this thing reaches down and grabs into your shoulder. You feel its heavy paw just weigh you down, this hand pushing at you, and you don't have the strength to push back. You feel it dig one of its thumb into your shoulder, but it's not the pain of its nail, it's the pain of bite, the claws. And all at once you feel it dig into your flesh once again, and before you let out a scream, you wake up. You were leaning against the wagon and must have sunk down and fell asleep as you're up against one of the wheels of it. As you shoot forward, your hair down, drenched in sweat.
I immediately take off whatever shirt I had to check on the...
Everything is mended, healed. The 2 names on your shoulder still scarred in.
Check to see if I woke anyone.
SAAKA apparently had woken herself up at some given point and is not looking in your direction, but is just looking out onto the field's horizon. The sword planted in front of her as she's using that to kind of lean on. look around. SAAKA, you do hear the heavy panting, and as he like stands and tears off his shirt, it's almost as if he was on fire. He freaks out, and you see that his breath slowly begins to calm as you now look at what you had seen before at surface levels across his face and part of his forearms, but all across his body, it looks like that he has been savaged by some creature. Claw marks, there looks to be thin cuts across his chest, bite mark across his clavicle and shoulder, down by his neck. You've seen lesser men felled by blows like these.
Put back on the shirt.
He puts back on his now drenched tunic as he just looks to you and says nothing.
SAAKA will just kind of sit against her sword and kind of pretend she wasn't looking at him in any direction, just kind of looking around anywhere but.
She didn't seem to pay you any mind when you got up and did a little freak out.
What type of night would it be, roughly?
From what you guess, you're probably near the... You guys are in early hours of the morning. You guys are past midnight. You're probably looking at 2 o'clock.
After a few minutes, she'll kind of look at you and be like, she'll kind of not yell it, trying to keep kind of a low voice so she doesn't wake anybody. I'll take the rest of the shift. You should try to get some sleep.
I just nod, go back to the cart, sit down against the wheel, and fall back asleep.
SAAKA, perception check. Perception check for kindness.
Our rolls.
Oh boy.
Garbage.
What is it total?
6 sight, 8 for smell.
I did a 15.
15. Looking out. Doesn't seem to be anything. As you are looking about, it's a bit curious. You don't think you've ever heard a snake snoring? However, you are pretty sure that that is now a noise you have logged in your head as you... You look over to the dark snake now coiled up into a large bundle.
SAAKA's not sure what to think about this because she's like, I thought she didn't even know snakes slept. She was they were awake at all hours of all the days and didn't.
You think
see
that it could be
anything.
kind of like a shark
Yeah.
thing where it stood still for too long, so
Yeah.
now it's dead?
Here's one thing I want to do. So the book is probably a little wet. Take a
Ooh,
look
roll
at-
to pay respects.
It's pretty wet, right? So
As you
it's
take it
gonna-
out, it was in a thick leather case. It is decently hardy, but yeah, some of the pages look to have gotten a little bit...
Just kind of gonna like a
You're
wet
holding
dog.
it out by
Yeah.
one corner and fanning out.
Yeah.
You're as lightly as possible, trying to shake it out, almost like a blanket.
Yeah.
You see a corner or two of the pieces of paper fall off.
She's gonna take it and she's going to wherever Kara's sleeping at. She's gonna kind of tuck it under where he's at. I don't know if he has a pillow or
Okay,
anything.
where would you be at?
So I have
Or
actual
blanket.
proper bedroll and blanket and stuff. So I'm assuming that Care
Are you in the wagon?
and
Are
Coil
you
are
on the ground?
probably on the ground and back to back.
Sure.
With the same blanket over both of them.
I'll
If he's
say
in the
for-
backpack, that's fine too.
I'll say for the sake of it, you find him on the left side of the cart,
Okay.
just on the road.
She
The road
can-
looks to be a little over a dozen feet wide, so
Okay.
it's just right next to the cart. You guys are parked off to the right. He's on left side of it.
Alright, she'll go and she'll take it. She'll kind of look at it longingly, but it's just kind of big sigh and duffs it as carefully as possible
Make a
without
sleight of
trying,
hand check.
without trying to wake him.
Last time you tried to copy ANETH.
I know.
Take your fucking book, Grandpa. Slam him.
Okay, you wake up taking a D12.
Get it.
I'm back and conscious. All right.
You wake up and are instantly asleep.
Get an 11.
Wake up asleep.
Care.
That's exactly my passive perception.
Yes. It is not the fact that she was too rough. Her scent is so... It is like a skunk puked on itself and then died. And the fact that you smell it and then there's a smell remaining there, you wake up and you... There's a small choking sound that comes from Care, but you do see a tome that has been slid under your blanket right next to you like a teddy with a child.
So walk away as fast as
And you
possible.
see that she is like quickly walking away to the other side of the cart to stare at the field around you.
I like one hand, like 3 fingers, pull the still slightly damp tome from outside of the bedroll, and
It reeks. It's bad.
I'm like, take a moment to look at it, like, it's this. Thanks. I'm gonna put it down like 2 feet away from me. Look at SAAKA walking away. I'm like, I guess this is time to get up as Semi. And get out of bed, like wrap more of the blankets around COIL. Take the book, walk back over to SAAKA. Are you giving me this, or?
You said you wanted it.
I would greatly appreciate it, yes. I was expecting more. The deal, or there was an agreement that I was not a part of?
She just kind of looks at him in confusion of like, you wanted the book? I gave you the book. What else do you want from me?
Fair enough. I walk back to COIL, and I open up the fucking book. And I
You open the book. Some more gunk falls out of it. Do you have the tome?
He's the one that actually gave me the description, so
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you have the original.
you should
one.
have it. If not, I
If
can
need be, I
resend
can
it
dig
to
it up
you.
during break, but
I can resend it to you.
At some point, it's
I don't
gonna
think I
get
have a
so
written
bad that we're gonna have to
description.
roll Constitution checks just
The
to
book.
be around her.
gotcha.
Be around her.
Yeah.
I have it. I'll just send it to you.
That's a powerful tool in battle.
Humanoids run away and throw up. They're not afraid, they're just disgusted.
Last time I ever gave you one.
Hey! DM is the one who's doing this.
She's a little salty now.
What? I'm not! I'm glad to have the book. I'm actually very glad to have the book now. I don't remember. So it was intelligence +1. Oh, you have. Oh,
Just sent it to
goodness.
you.
That's a lot of paragraphs. Thank you.
Okay.
It is.
So while that's happening, other people are doing things. I
Sure.
Other
So,
people are sleeping like reasonable.
Everyone has slept. And how long are you reading this? Because it is about 2 in the morning, Karen. So this is not technically a full rest for you.
I'm gonna. I guess since I haven't taken a full rest, just enough time to like get back to being sleepy after being the weirdest conversation he's had for maybe a week and a really weird awakening
For maybe a week.
for maybe a week, and then go back to sleep.
A lot of what you read to begin with is a lot of beginner's things.
Okay.
This is things that you've known, things that you have picked up over your years of both magic studying and especially with your sort of divination styles. These are things that you've heard of or have been trained in before. So nothing incredible. And by the time that you get a bit tired brain again, you feel like you've gotten a synopsis of at least the beginnings
Everything
of this book, which should be pretty easy to tackle.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, you go back to bed care. SAAKA, is there at any point in time where you go back to sleep?
Well, I've not gotten up all rest if I don't.
Yeah, because you're technically taking 2 shifts.
I am? Okay, well, I'll go
You
back
woke up
to
partway through DATH'TAN's.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll... If he's up...
You see that he's kind of reading, but still curled up in the knapsack.
If you want to take your shift, I'll sleep and then take my shift.
Okay.
Do the
For the sake of expediency.
yes.
Okay. I'm like, I
Night
don't...
turns to morning, and you begin traveling anew. Is there anyone doing perception checks to take lead as you head back down the road?
I can't.
All right.
Everyone is awake. Most of you are rejuvenated. One of you is a bit frazzled. But you make your way down the road once again. Any perception checks?
Ooh, 15, Nate.
19.
19.
23.
23. As the next day or so of travel comes, it comes pretty easily. Once again, there are travelers, small wagons and carts that pass by you. Normally they are just random wanderers, adventurers, travelers. Some of them seem to be farmhands or of some represent or suit, as they are of nicer clothing and attire as they pass by you. But for the most part, no one in particular is, talking to you besides a random head nod or a wave as they pass by, maybe a friendly smile. Within the next day or so, you do notice that off to what would be the right of the path, that there is a large dip in a hill. You see that it flattens out after a while, as there's like this small cut-off path that trails down, thicks of forest that flank either side, but then flattens and clears out to acres of farmland. This stretch of land contains several different types of what you see are like crops and goods. Orchards that run along the very edges of this land, what you assume growing maybe the same, maybe different types of fruit. While the center land are tilled work grounds with many types of vegetables growing on each stretch of garden bed, ranging anywhere from what you think are growing carrots to maybe more of corn or other types of vegetables. You do notice that there are several water wells that are about this area. And at the furthest off sides of this worked land, you do see what looks to be small huts or homes for whoever may be keeping this ground. They appear to be living on site. And at the very far end of this worked field down below, there seems to be this large manor at the very end of it. As you're looking out, beginning to go past this dip, you hear CAEDRIK go, Cameron's Fields. That's where most of the food of the island comes from.
We had talked about this place a little bit prior about whether or not we were intending to stop there. I don't recall whether or not we eventually made a decision about that. I believe we had mentioned at some point maybe looking for work there, but I'm not sure whether you may or may not have been there for that. I'm not sure, Amy.
It may
I
be that
don't
we
remember
it
this
decide to
conversation.
maybe look for work there, but after we get to Rebton,
Yeah.
head back.
Ah,
Wouldn't be a
could-
bad
I
idea.
could be wrong on that, but
That would
that's
make
as far
sense.
as my memory goes.
how far away is this from Rebton, Cedric?
It's a little bit of a walk. We're only a few days out from the graveyard, right?
If I recall correctly, it's a week or more. Is that right?
We've been traveling. I would say Cedric has enough knowledge to know you guys are roughly halfway.
Got it.
You guys traveled about 10 days to get to the graveyard. You guys spent some time there, but that's not travel distance. But at this point, a few more days have passed. You're roughly 13, 14 days in.
Okay. I see no reason for us to stop there now.
We're about there, about halfway there, so we want to try to maybe pick up the pace a bit,
Mhm.
get there a bit faster.
We can always come back.
Yeah.
That sounds wise. Our goal is in Rebton anyway.
Mm.
You look. Is it though? So I believe continue on is the current plan.
Mhm.
Sure.
If Coil is gonna maintain on the horse, I'm gonna be in the cart in the back while I read the book. I'll
So,
draw my 2 cards for the day.
about halfway through the day, KELSION, who's had the sharper eye today, you hear, "Hey!"
What's up?
You see Cedric has a piece of paper in his hand. "Did the best I could to sketch up this place. This is Totarum."
Cool. You mind taking the reins while I take a look?
Did you take them from ANETH?
I was thinking I thought I was. Never mind.
He hands you up this piece of parchment. Unscrolling it, you see as he explained, not everything, but mostly the makeup of Totarum. You guys at this point are just about here. The graveyard is there. That's you guys right there.
Okay.
And of course you can share that with the group around.
Karen, you know your snake snores, right? It's kind of.
Kindness sleeps.
I thought he was dead, but I didn't want to poke him. But yeah,
It doesn't really die ever. It also
it snores. It's weird.
kindness. Is this true?
You're supposed to.
Oh,
be
you
keeping
pop her
watch.
into existence.
Pop her into existence like around my neck.
Yeah.
Like, is this true?
She starts to squeeze around your neck slightly, like in the way that she does affectionately, like this is her version of a hug.
It's like, no.
You begin to think that your familiar may be slacking on you a tiny bit.
What do I pay you for? Oh.
I don't pay you.
Right, okay, so I see. Oh, we got a lot of ways to go.
But it's more of a straight shot, so
Yeah.
The Neuron Highway takes the outer route of the island.
yeah.
That's why most travelers take it. If you want to, you guys could go into the inner forest and innerlands of standalone cliffs and things like that, but that would be on your own accord.
Yeah.
Don't-
Probably out of our way for now.
Yes.
Maybe a later adventure.
Interesting.
So anything that you are doing as you push on, and you were talking about picking up the pace?
That's what I would like to do. But if the rest of the group wants to go at the current pace, I'd be more.
Don't want to catch up with Lux because he's trying to make distance from us. But if we can take it up a little, so at least we're there a little bit earlier, that'd be nice.
I don't want to catch up to him, but I'm getting annoyed by constantly getting past.
If you wish, I can expedite travel a little bit. If you want to do a time hop of travel here.
Yeah, I think there's things that we want to do during this time, but nothing we want to do on a day-by-day basis.
Sure thing.
Mm.
That is perfectly fine. I was prepared for that option as well.
So I'm reading the book, and then I'm doing studying the notes and stuff that I've received. But other than that, I have no really day-by-day plans.
Yeah, I mean,
We need to get SAAKA a river or something. Dear God.
Yeah, is there like a river nearby?
The river was behind you.
Shit.
Well, let's double back.
SAAKA, you're in back. You're taking caboose. On a
I
horse.
don't understand what's wrong here.
Spoilot Lake and Pure Rush River was behind you on your way to Kroldyk when you guys were making that
Yeah.
de-escalation slowly.
Water from the
down
well
to the
and
town.
right?
That might have been the thing to do, but Heinz smell is 2020.
Again, I don't understand what's wrong here. It's a little gunk, so what?
I've slept in an alley more than once. It's been better than this.
We apparently come from two different places.
I've slept in a trash pile that smelled better.
My
than
only
this.
question is, what wizard does not have prestidigitation? Every wizard I've met has it.
I'm not traditionally trained, so to speak.
But still, the amount of uses it has.
My instructor did not see fit to teach me this thing. His instructions were more... Message. Secretive.
Are you trying to guilt trip him for something he just doesn't have?
Yes.
Tiny bit. Because I can't
Like
learn
jumping
it.
behind a rock and getting on the ground.
He was as evasive as I intend to be, but he was also younger then and more spry.
Poor old Care.
So, you guys are getting to Rebton.
Yes, we're getting to Rebton eventually.
So, roughly another 15 days or so pass to travel.
Okay.
Mostly uneventful. About on 10th or 11th day, I will say, well, that's the question is, you guys are picking up the pace but not catching up to the caravan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in that case, never mind.
I think the idea is like we're asking people that are coming this way, like, hey, did you see these guys?
Sure, okay.
Hey,
Trying to
and
judge this.
try and judge
Yeah.
distance and
How
try
far
and
Keeping a
were
decent
they?
distance.
yeah.
I will say is, on that day, however,
Okay.
you do see something heading towards you, a bit more interesting than other individuals that you've seen. There's a small group of armed men approaching you that surround a prisoner's cart. The troops wear dark chocolate-colored leather that seems to have been fitted with a silver breastplate within it that you can see just poking out of the ends.
No.
You see more leather armor is fitted underneath it. A high collar, like that of an overcoat, lines the leather armor underneath the breastplate.
But it looks like beef jerky.
Long,
It's
darkened
not
sleeves
beef
run
jerky.
from underneath the armor to black gloves that extend halfway down the forearm. Almost all aforementioned articles of clothing have been lined with a deep, almost marigold color. Their trousers and boots, this isn't fitting music.
Message to SAAKA. should you be hiding?
Goes on the opposite side of the cart? I don't
That will
know.
help. They'll still smell her.
Death glare.
You do notice that their trousers and boots have been kept surprisingly clean for the travel that they have been taking.
Maybe they know prestidigitation.
Good.
You can bother one of them.
Good idea.
None of these soldiers carry masks or helms, but instead they hold a shackle around their neck, made of pure steel with a golden line running through the center. Each shackle placed snug on the wearer's neck, looking uncomfortable. Some of you, as you get closer, notice a symbol that is on their shoulders or sleeves of their long overcoats. Their symbol is of a silver caliper tool that curls out at the legs on either side. The dark metal curled ends have broken chains that hang off of either side of it, making it look like an unclasped manacle at the bottom. They begin to travel, walking towards you, and in the midst of these troops, you see a prisoner cart being pulled by a single horse, as this thing is much smaller, personal. The four walls of the wooden cart are lined with corners of thick metal being bolted together. The windows are very small and nearly completely closed off by wooden slats that are placed over the bars themselves. As they begin to approach, you notice that there is probably around 8 of these armed individuals. As they walk towards you, the one that's just ahead of the horse, leading it by the reins, ahead of it, looks to you all. Good day. As he begins to approach.
Do we have a person on a horse in front of the cart, or is Aneth the person in front because she's driving the wagon?
That's up to the people
I'll
on
be
horses.
in front of the cart.
Okay.
On Brad.
Okay.
Brad.
On Brad.
Brad.
Cute, right?
He looks to you. Fine day.
It is.
He looks to the others that kind of look to him. Some of them give a smirk, others just look away. He looks around to the entire lot. Quite a colorful pattern you got here.
Make the flare up.
You see some of them like take a step towards the cart or away from it. Some of them like reaching for weapons at their hilts.
It doesn't do anything harmful, don't worry.
Magic isn't really liked around here.
It's paint.
I'm sorry, are you questioning me?
No, I'm just saying what it is.
It's just fancy paint.
It's very fancy.
Very fancy paint.
Where'd you get it from?
I just found it on the road.
Make a deception.
Why?
My brain turned off at that exact
Out of
moment.
everything to lie
Shut
about,
up.
you're gonna get us arrested.
23.
Okay. I invoke the card of the Hydra on his insight check, which is a 5.
I already made the roll.
I didn't see that you roll the roll.
But you did
So-
see this.
Yeah, I foresaw this, so I didn't get to see the result, so therefore I couldn't have saw the result and decided. I'm just doing the thing.
Okay.
That's turned over.
You see that he looks, squinting eyes at you. All right then. Begins to lead the horse, looking at the others. Come on. As you look over your shoulder, DATH'TAN, you see that Care whispered into one of the cards. There was this spring of 5 almost serpent-like heads that slunk out and slunk back into the card, and he slipped it into his deck as you look back, and there was almost like a wave of exhaustion that hit this armed individual before he continued to walk past you. You see the rest of them like very confused are looking at this front guard and are like slowly walking. The one on the right corner of this cart kind of grabs his shoulder. He goes, "You're right, my lord." He goes, "Fine. You go."
As they're traveling past, I want to see if I can kind of look into the prisoner cart and see if I can make anything out.
And are you on Holly?
I would probably be on the actual wagon itself.
Okay, so are you like standing or just sitting against one of
The-
those sides and peeking over?
This
Can I
wagon
feel-
isn't covered, right? This
No,
is...
it's no longer covered.
Yeah,
It's
so-
just like the small side.
I'm just sitting on the side with the book next to me, and I
Okay.
saw this go down. I'm like looking at the cart as it passes us.
Sure thing. Go ahead and make a perception check here.
Fuck me. 3.
As you look over, you don't see anything, but as you begin to shuffle the cards and place them away, there's a against the side of the cart as it shakes violently. As you look back over, you see nothing but like the lips of a human going, "You're wanted. You're wanted."
What?
As the guards see this, one of them reaches into his overcoat and looks to pull out this hot iron that seems to be remaining at this heat. And he sticks it, and you hear a scream as the cart once again rattles as you almost hear a body weight hit the floor. Sneers and places it back into his coat. He looks to you, Care, as you pass by him. Watches you pass and just looks back at the cart. One or two of them look back over their shoulder at you, giving a strange look to just the small encounter that just happened.
As the cart passes, I'm like, one of the guards like, "What's the story with the broken one in there?"
That broken one just killed his wife and kids in Rebton.
Oh.
He lost his senses.
Went mad. Expeditioners got him, so we're under our jurisdiction now.
I see. Safe travels then.
I wouldn't be trying anything while you're there.
Something wrong?
No, I just don't like the look of you.
I'm sorry.
You guys saying something about the smell too.
They all begin to walk back off with the wagon. You found it on the side of the road.
I pull to the side and just stop and let the entire party pass. Just the look of I'm an idiot on my face.
So they put you back here.
And I
too,
wait
huh?
for they're 50 feet ahead, and then I start going.
No.
You just see the green tiefling sunken head staring at the grass just off to the right of Neuron Highway, just looking down with a frown. So you guys get roughly 50 feet ahead, and you guys think about stopping, and the most defeated small nudge of Brad continues to push him forward behind him.
It worked, didn't it?
We're gonna hassle him about that later.
It's almost reassuring how bad of a liar he is.
I thought he was going to say.
Divination wizard for the win.
Such an idiot. I feel so stupid right now.
I'm very glad.
My brain actually turned off. So I'm like, yeah, that's no. You're an idiot.
It worked. It's fine. Go.
Okay.
So we bumble
You
away
said
to
that
victory.
that you had already rolled. What was that roll, if I may ask?
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I worried about.
Situation.
It's like, oh no, that lie is not good. I need to make this guy believe anything.
That's why I'm now 50 feet behind the party.
Aww.
I am no longer talking. Well, once again, that's why KELSION talks.
For
You
you?
decided to be at the front of the
Hey.
group.
Hey, big. No.
Nobody
I'm just
put
gonna
you up
shut
there.
I'm just gonna shut up now.
So, as you finally push on to the final few days, you come upon Rebton. As you approach from the west, you find yourself looking at a 16-foot high wall of thick cobblestone. The wall is manned, you see, all across, with, at first you may think could be more of these individuals, but instead it is the familiar garb and clothing of the bygone guard, every 20 feet or so. Each small group of 1 or 2 soldiers is accompanied by a cannon, ready to defend the walls of this town city. Thick wooden doors with metal reinforcement strips run horizontally along it. The entrance itself is nearly 10 feet tall, and it is what the Neuron Highway comes to a stop to, as there's 2 armed bygone guards, their rifles over their shoulders. As the wagon slowly draws forward your cart, one of them steps forward, putting his hand in the air. The helm of this bygone guard covering everything but a clean-shaven face of what you assume is a younger man, as he goes, "Halt! State business."
Mercenaries. As opposed to the kind that aren't for hire.
And you're...
The menagerie.
He looks back to the other one. You see that he just kind of shrugs. A bigger built, what seems to be older man steps forward. Bit of a 5 o'clock shadow for his mouth and chin that's exposed from the rest of the helm. See that he takes the rifle off of his shoulder and into both of his hands. And you don't happen to be the type of mercenaries we should be worried about?
Absolutely not. We're just coming from Kruldirk. We did some work from Hasela over there.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Radical. Natural 20 plus 5. 25.
See, he looks to the other one. You know Sawa?
Yes.
Good terms.
We did work for her and we did it well.
See. Open the doors!
I actually pull out
As he
my
yells from the arch.
spell casting documentation.
I even have her signature. She's the one who gave me this permission.
No kidding. Well then, welcome to Rebton Menagerie. As he says that, one of the 2 doors is open.
I imagine we try and like make a single file line and go through. And...
The 2 watch you go in. Older man is putting the gun back over his shoulder. I was gonna ask for marching order, but not necessary.
We are in a cart.
Yeah. Yeah, for the wagon, the second door will be pulled open, which just takes a second or two more. As you, upon entering, you find yourself on paved, smooth, thick brick stone roads, already a different to the long, bumpy, rough roads that you've been used to traveling for the Neuron Highway. Most of the houses are made of clay and brick. The gray stone buildings stacked anywhere from 1 to 2 stories high, detailed with darker blue and green tiled roofing, small multi-pane windows, some of them giving an ever-faint glow from a fading lantern or maybe a newly lit candle. Chimneys rise from each of these homes' rooftops. Small bits of dark smoke rise from each and every one of them so often. Those who live here are pretty comfortable, you see, as you begin to walk into the town proper. No one seems to be living in poverty. No one can be seen sleeping in alleyways. No one seems to be on corners begging. The streets are just moving with bustling people, each one seemingly living comfortably. Horse-drawn carriages can be seen moving through the town or picking people up for quicker rides through the larger town city of Rebton, each having an expensive or luxurious look to them, painted in dark shades with fine furnishings as they take people to and fro. Thin copper lantern poles that have tall, square tops seem to be out right now. But every once in a while, it's almost as a test, you see them spark and crackle slightly within their glass confinement. It doesn't appear to be a fire, but that of several burning wires, like multiple wicks to a candle, going from a tiny, thin rod black to a pure, sparking white hot light. As you begin to travel closer to the center of town, you recognize that as you've entered off to your left, as this town is a bit on a slant, what you estimate is running through the center of town, there is a wall that runs through the center of town itself. No path on top to walk on or man, just a flat stone bulwark that runs from the west all the way to the east wall. And on these main roads, not these small alleyways, you see large stone arches that arc over the street, continuing to connect the wall. The arches tower over the roads that run through the town, where you see portcullis gates with dark metal doors that rest, lifted into these thick stone arches, waiting to be dropped by a lever that rests next to these doors. You see that it seems to be a way to close off this town pretty much in half, if need be, as there are large, thick wooden doors with a portcullis gate. As you take your wagon through town, looking at all this, CAEDRIK has a large smile on his face as he looks at the rest of you. Everyone, welcome to my home.
It's a vast improvement over Krolder. I'm impressed.
Already from here, you guys can smell that of the ocean. Seawater and salt, fresh market produce, from cooked bread to seafood and things of the ocean itself. The people themselves range from humans, half-elves, half-orcs, to even some more rare folk, such as Furbolg and things of the like. Rebton is a port town city and has several people coming in and out. A few dwarves pass through. Some you even see CAEDRIK wave to as if he has at least seen their face or recognized them. Several of them dressed in more sailor-like or seaman garb. Others seemingly of a much more finer taste, maybe of the town or coming in for a certain reason. Some patrollers of the Bygone Guard move through the town. This is a very active place.
We have a couple things we should get started on. First, we need to find a place to store the cart.
Don't worry about it. My folks can take care of that.
Alrighty, so that's taken care of. We need somewhere for her to get washed up. Would your parents be fine with that too, or is there a different area?
She may not fit the bath.
Gee,
I'm sorry, but
Look at the size of me versus you.
I'm sorry, but after 2-3 weeks,
Again.
At this point, it is not quite midday. It's before that. The sun is shining down upon Rebton, and it's a nice day. Some people, however, within this town and city, are looking to you all strange looks as you have come in with a hot rod cart, a stinking half-orc, 2 tieflings,
And a 3-foot
a
one
not
giant.
hidden satyr, a human-like man, and a small tabaxi child.
Has there at least been enough rainy days to give SAAKA a shower?
In between the weeks of travel, rain has come.
Okay.
It has. You've used it to your advantage to get some of the gunk out of your hair and things like that. You don't smell as bad. There's just that waning stench left.
Oh, jeez.
It's just that you have to be closer to her to really get it. But there's a familiar smell that is not appreciated.
While we're walking, I'm gonna lightly pull on Kira's coat. Kira,
Yes.
I have an idea.
I am concerned but interested. Continue.
Can you cast catapult on the inside of a bucket of water?
I can cast catapult on a bucket.
Can you not do it on the water in the bucket?
I don't think so. I also don't have that spell anymore. I can locate a bucket.
You could probably use a mage hand just to.
As you, so are you guys just
It's like
walking?
being
So
pressure washed by a bucket.
Ugh.
within Rebton, it is a bit on a slant. Walking through it, there are people that are like walking through the center of the roads and just crowding. It's almost like 2 lanes of walking, but there's also wagons or carts that can move their way through, and those clear a lane. For the most part, there is no like sidewalks, but on the more smooth and paved brick roads, they kind of stick off to the sides where these lantern poles along with the buildings are at. So are you guys just walking through the center of the streets, or are you guys sticking to more of the sides? Either way, you are carving a figure, but
I
it's
think we
more
should
just direction of travel and where you are.
Don't want to get in the way and probably get the cart to CAEDRIK's house immediately before we do anything else, just so
Yeah,
that's
let's
not a
follow-
problem.
Let's get
how
the
the
cats and the
carts are
horses
going.
done
Yeah,
first, and then
follow local adoption. Are they doing the left side of the street, right side of the street? What's the...
From the look of it, it looks like left side is going down the city, the right side is going up the city.
Got it.
So we go left side.
CAEDRIK goes, my house is down south. Left side.
Left side.
Left side it is.
Yeah, this is the wash-up district.
What does that mean?
It's a bit rough, but it's a saying within Rebton that if a flood hit it, we would be the wash-ups. They'd be the tide high, safe behind the wall.
What kind of
Yikes.
He says, pointing to SAAKA. I'm saying you need to get clean.
So I've
He says with
heard-
this stupid little grin on his face.
You're gonna love it here.
When the cat tells you to take a bath, that's unfortunate.
You see,
Goody.
CAEDRIK kind of looks to you all. I want you to explore around. I'll take the cart with ANETH.
Alrighty.
What could go wrong?
a lot of things could go wrong.
Knowing this group.
This is my home.
It's still a lot of things could go wrong.
Can I come
I'll be
with?
fine. I'm more worried about you lot.
Can I come with?
I want you to meet my parents later when it's close-up time.
Okay.
They run a shop.
Oh,
So, first order of business, find Lux?
No.
freak. No.
I thought
Screams, runs away.
I thought we were trying
Satyr,
to avoid him.
On the roads, yes, because we have people following those two.
Ah.
Do you see? What do you? Yes.
Yes.
One question, CAEDRIK. What would you say is the best way to get to the Wicklit Lighthouse?
Wicklit Lighthouse. One moment. It's
I don't remember actually.
it's just past the center wall. You'll find it east.
Alrighty. Keep that in mind.
But there's things like the Twain Trove, which that place I think sells magic items, something like that. Then my folks' place, you'll probably find it southwest corner, of course. It's the Hook's End. There's, if you're feeling fancier, the Resplendent Repose. It's much more up north and center.
Because we are a fancy bunch of people.
Well, if you want a nice place to sleep.
Again, because we are a fancy bunch of people.
I'm trying to think. Apothecaries. Southeast. The guardhouse. It's actually nearby here somewhere, center of town. I think there's more, but... Oh, I mean, of course, the docks. If you want to hit to the storm stave, it's just straight south. Exit the town from the south gate and you'll be there. You're gonna love this place.
Okay. So the what was the first? So the trove. What was the first word?
Twain Trove.
Twain. Okay. Twain Trove. And that was where?
Twain Trove was a bit more east,
Okay, east.
but it's within the wash-up, so...
And I don't recall why do we want the Wicklit Lighthouse? It's been a moment.
You got a delivery when we went to go get the
You were
religious
asked
side of
to
your
deliver something
Right.
from Onagon.
Onagon wanted me to do that.
I wanted to pull up the name that way to mispronounce it.
Okay. I will have to go look that up in my notes as to.
I had that just set for things to remember for Rebton.
Good.
So maybe do that first.
I have as much time in the world as to complete that.
We should probably get it over now, that way we don't forget about it later.
True.
Seeing as you already forgot it on the way here.
Aneth, you ready? As you
I
see
think he's getting
Cedric's climbing
His
over
memory's going.
to the front side along with Aneth. We'll see you later.
Single wave.
See you later.
He waves back. Aneth. Horses begin to draw out.
You know, she's getting the hang of the wagon.
So, menagerie. As the rays pour down on you, warming you from the inside out, what would you like to do?
KELSION is probably right. I should probably deliver this sooner rather than later. So I need to bring it on behalf of Amadeus, Priest Arena, and KELSION. Okay.
Who's that?
Task on behalf. That's what I have written down, buddy.
It's Onagon.
Why do I have Amadeus?
I don't know.
Mozart?
Asmodeus. That's a bit later in a campaign, buddy. Wrong campaign.
Huh. What? Don't worry about it, mate.
Octagon?
Doc Ock.
Okay.
The shape.
The sheep.
Dr. Octagonopus?
Anywho, what is it that you're delivering exactly?
I pull out a letter from my bag.
It's from the priest back in Cruelder.
Did you read it?
That would be
Rude, for one.
quite impolite.
Is it?
Yes, that message is not for him. It's for whoever's at the Wicklit Lighthouse.
You never know what you're carrying. Could get you killed.
Seeing as he worships a god of trickery, I would not be surprised, but also don't want to open that note just in case. Would you like to go with just to see what
I'm kind of
this...
curious.
I would think so. I am curious as well.
This seems interesting. I'll tag along.
I probably shouldn't roam this down by myself.
Birds might start attacking you.
End up in the fight pit.
End up in the fight pit, like, you just wake up there, like, aha, it's fighting time.
No birds just go dying.
Birds just drop around her.
Go fetch Coil.
I don't think I want to touch those.
I guess we're all going to the Wicklit Lighthouse first.
I mean,
Okay.
it probably is better that we stick as a group.
It's true.
Yeah.
Did I have the 50 hours on the way here requisite necessary to do the book? Do the book?
I will say so.
Cool. Radical.
I'll say that if you are pushing and really like just going at it, yeah, for sure.
I'm now proficient in all of intelligence.
And a +1 to your intelligence and an extra spell.
You.
Thank
Good for
you,
you, Kara.
Saaka.
I need book.
Owe me a favor.
I will do my best to ensure your survival.
An enlarged SAAKA will come soon.
No.
No, I'm
That's
joking.
terrifying.
Please don't do that.
No.
That's
Cast
terrifying.
reduce on Coil.
I was
so you
actually
can-
really looking on Enlarger Juice as my
okay.
daily spell.
That's fine.
No, cast it on Coil so that he can pick himself up with his own mage hand.
I don't know about that one.
New.
I can show you the street.
For like 6 seconds.
I'll get back to that spell that I'm trying.
Sure
that
thing.
I'll
So
get.
you guys are heading to the Wicklit Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as you guys begin to walk, looking at the stone walls past the buildings, and you see the bygone guard looking down at you from it, you walk through this center flood wall of town to the eastern side. Something up? Oh, okay. Sorry. Near what would be a northeast corner of town, you find a tower. Rising above any structure within the town you've seen so far. As you draw close, upon closer inspection, you see that it's not purely white, it's like a yellow-hued tower. And as you begin to get closer, you see that the tower itself is made from tallow. The dull white color having several running wax strips that have solidified against the side of this structure. Several small arched windows hold yet more wax stripping across them, almost covering it completely or clumping up around it. Each window is slowly built winding up the lighthouse. The roof of this place contains a large, dark rod drilled into the roof itself that stretches into the sky. As you begin to walk closer, you notice that the building has a single door of black iron with a rim of brass triangles pointed inwards into the door. No available handle or ring or doorknob on this side. Just a flat, heavy metal door.
Your lead, your delivery.
You can see within each one of these arched windows that goes higher and higher. There are like small lit lights, like candles on the inside of them.
So, on the letter that I have, is there a particular name I'm looking for?
Octagonopus.
Octagonopus. Okay. In that case, I am just going to knock on the door.
Okay.
Do you want me to do the talking?
No, thank you, though.
You knock.
Okay.
Nothing.
I just want to be helpful, man.
I wait for about 30 seconds and then I get impatient. And I snap my fingers and have kindness on the other side of the door just to see if anyone's home.
As soon as you bamf kindness in, you feel kindness leave this plane of existence.
Oh.
And the door opens.
Cast banish.
You see a well-dressed Tabaxi in a bright red vest with gold, almost filigree running down the front end along with orange highlights. He sits there with a white shirt under it, black pants, shoes, and he holds a small rapier that is stuck into the ground as he silently closes it and looks to you as the doors open. Behind him, you already see stone staircase going up this center tallow. It looks like there's this main beam that the winding staircase has, but it itself is also coated in the same candle-like material. He just sits there silently looking at you.
That really necessary?
He just blinks twice at you and looks.
United States Postal Service. I have a letter for you.
He looks down. His ears twitch. This Tabaxi in general is a much lighter color. You see that he has an orange spot on one side of his head that covers his right eye and ear, and what looks to be another spot of orange that is going down into the shirt and vest itself. He's a spotted cat.
So, like, a house cat?
Yes.
Poggers!
Looks. Takes it, nods, and with the ring on his side of the door, closes it.
Bye, mister.
Good
That
talk.
solves that.
Well, that was exciting.
He was cool.
That was not as enlightening as I thought it would be.
Oh, he's
You
back.
see the same cat. Tabaxi steps out, holds a pouch.
I take the pouch.
It is pretty hefty.
I am...
You see that he holds up 4 fingers and then 2 zeros with his hand.
I'm...
For myself or for Anagon?
He outstretches his hand to the group of you.
I am going to, like, bow in thanks.
As you bow, the door is closing on you.
And there he goes again.
I'm glad we did that first.
I'm so fucking curious what this
I know.
Told ya.
Before the door closes, you hear, Fennec, thank you. That carries down as the door closes.
A cat's named after a fox. That's weird to me. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Before they change their mind.
Before they want it back. Before they realize I am not from the United States Postal Service.
There's true fear, embezzlement. The IRS is after me.
I cannot go to jail again.
It's not tax,
Again.
is it?
Again, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You sit there and you are holding a hefty bag of what you assume is gold.
What's the numbers? 8
I'm-
ways?
I'm going to open the bag of gold to make certain it is a bag of gold.
It is a bag of gold, 400 pieces.
Didn't he do? Oh, okay.
He did 400.
400.
What did we do to get that again?
We were a postal service. We delivered someone's mail. Pretty sure.
We should do that more often.
We got like 1/10 of this for risking our lives in a cave. I could do this and retire.
You might need to.
You should be a mailman.
Male snake.
Snake.
I could set up my own postal service with like kindness. Like bird. Mail by bird. It would be perfect.
He's getting so excited he just can't even.
My new money-making scheme.
The Snake of Wall Street.
I am
What the fuck am I doing with this?
still kind of at a loss as to what.
Snake of Times Square.
How many are we splitting this up by?
Cedric and Aneth were not here. They do not need to know.
Also, pretty sure Satyr would probably just give it away.
Did you guys help in this endeavor? This was myself and KELSION.
You split the gold however you want.
Wait, be 7 ways?
Or giving it to the horses.
Cedric and ANETH.
They also did not help.
That's true.
5 ways then.
Remember, I could kill you in one strike.
I do owe you for the book. It's true.
Completely ignoring the death threat.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and like stay on neutral terms.
Please don't try though.
Makes
I
one
don't
more
know what I owe you
bastard.
for, but for the sake of future positive endeavors between the two of us.
I start doling out 80 gold pieces amongst all 5 of us.
Okay.
Do you want me to carry your gold coil, or shall I?
I want to feel rich.
Give him 2. to carry.
I give him 2 gold. No, I give him his 80.
Is he gonna be able to walk with all that gold?
It's half his body weight.
No.
Wait, how much actually is it?
80 gold pieces.
80 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're just like.
You're able to carry it. It's a bit heavy for
give
you,
me a
but you're able to
second. I
carry
need to do
it.
some math.
I think your strength scores.
Childlike.
Strength is my worst stat.
Coins are not heavy though. If you
No.
look in the book, they're
His
really light.
Bag is just coin.
Aww.
His bag.
I like how
just full
it
of
was a
coins.
pouch of gold that we were handed.
Yeah.
He takes 1/5 of it and becomes a backpack of gold.
Yeah. Well, it's a backpack to him.
It is a yes. Okay, 80 gold pieces richer. I need to adjust my.
So menagerie. What are you doing?
Magic shop?
You guys are kids!
Should we talk to Lux first, or?
If we can find him. But I mean,
Or do we need to talk to
all we
Lux
really
about?
need to do is find all of their cards.
Make
and then
certain
find them.
he's alive, I guess. Make certain he's doing fine.
Well, we've kind of
Why
been
do
checking
we
up on
need
them
to
throughout
do
the
that?
trip.
Checking.
I suppose, yeah. I guess if it's not important to you guys, it's not crucial. I just feel like it'd be the right thing to do, but I don't know.
I can see Lux.
You could see like it's like I could eat. I could see Lux.
I can too, I have eyes.
Thank you, KELSION. Alright. In that case, I guess
Thanks.
magic shop then.
Oh, well, hello there.
It would make sense that they would find us instead of us finding them.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Looking lumbering up is the one-armed turtle heading up the streets towards you. Hey,
Cedric is gonna be so mad.
Satyr missed this. He's gonna be a bit upset.
Make sure to tell him.
Oh,
No, let me.
as
tell
you
him.
guys are a few dozen feet from the flood wall, he crosses over into the upper Tide High district.
Hello there.
Good to see you again.
Nod.
Good to see you as well. How are all of you?
Dandy.
We are doing okay. We had an eventful trip. I hope that yours was less eventful.
It was boring.
Good. Boring leads to long lives.
But no tales to tell.
I have enough tales to tell.
And we have something in common.
I'm not half as good a storyteller as you are. That is something I still need to work on.
I would say so do I. My memory can be fuzzy about some things happened.
You and Bulda and the rest are here?
Yeah, we,
You see, he reaches into a small satchel of his, pulls out a sheet of paper. On it, in different paintings and colors, is "Come see Lux's luxurious show."
Oh,
Good for him.
He's more or less just selling his stuff, but he's promising a show of some colorful types. But it's just for the attention. Merchants and all that.
Let's go. Is there a time or a date on the pamphlet?
Are you asking, or are you just looking?
I'm looking at the pamphlet to see
Looking
if
at
there's
it,
like
it's
tonight
just-
at 5 or something.
Yeah. It is past dusk.
Past dusk. Okay.
I will say. Let me check my notes.
Sure.
That'll help me remember things. Is staring at words
also
That
probably
give me
go
info.
to the general store.
at the storm
Get a
stave.
new,
So at the docks.
I brought that back from Toilet Land for you.
Yeah, but I'm not drinking.
Just keep it as a trophy.
Yeah, that it's kind of in the cart. I was debating on just leaving it there, but
Without SAAKA noticing.
yes, but it's kind of been in the cart, and I kind of want to go get a new water skin.
How dare
A
you?
new coat. It's been tainted by the forbidden water skin.
So we see Lux's show tonight.
It would be nice of us, I would assume.
I mean, technically we were just invited.
It's true.
Yeah.
Support local
I'm
businesses.
Putting these things up on walls.
Do you have local governance permission to do that?
Yes.
I'm not even gonna roll insight.
Good.
I hope to share a drink and stories as well. They care. You're a man who interests me.
SAAKA, no. The bond between reptiles does not grow that close.
And with that, I take my leave.
You mind if we get a copy of the flyer?
Sure.
Let me go to my nearest Xerox and like.
Yeah, I just want to keep a copy of the flyer.
Sure. So, did have to, but so at the Stormstave docks, at dusk, by Lux.
Well, that rhymes.
Didn't even need to.
Look at him.
With that, the turtle gives you a deep head nod before turning and making his way back down the road.
I'm certain CAEDRIK will see him later.
Especially if he goes to the show with us.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Alrighty, to...
Twain Trove then?
I guess so.
And then, depending on how much time we have, CAEDRIK's and then Lux's?
Yeah, why not?
Alright. To the Twain's Trove, I think.
Okay.
Wahoo!
Twain.
Let's see here. So, technically, it's just a bit south of yours. The flood wall has about 4 points of entry.
Okay.
You guys took, if you were coming up north, the furthest right one, up to get to the Wicklit Lighthouse. Twain Trove is just a bit south of it.
Okay.
So, as you travel only a few minutes down the road, people pushing past you, looking towards you, some giving much more strange looks, others not even paying attention, having seen your races or kind several times, or just don't really seem to pay you any mind. You come across a building, one that is built a little lower into the ground. A set of stairs with thin middle handrails leads you down to a small space between the stairs and the front of the building. You see two small, low, square buildings, each with their own multi-pane windows, doors being a painted forest green with black iron doorknobs. A small, deep yellow bell installed on each one of these doors to the left and right. The buildings are connected by a thick, running, arched wooden hallway, running in the center between the two of these buildings, within a straight line. On this center connecting hall, you see a name of the shop painted in gold and finished with a bold green, the Twain Trove. You have two options ahead of you.
Left is right and right is wrong. I take the left door.
Upon entering the left door, the ringing bell heralds your entrance. The wooden boarded floors and walls are well fitted with items. You seem to be much more in a odd item and bauble-filled store. You are right next to the left wall as you enter. But all to your right, you see 6 wide and long curling shelves. The wooden shelf snaking up and designed like an S, filled with potions, trinkets, medallions, and other small bits and bobs. On the walls, placed on low, available single floating shelves, or hung and pinned up higher upon the walls, are larger, more interesting items. A carpet, a small bullet-shaped canister with leather straps, an entire assortment of things. A wide door sits in the far back right corner, leading to what you presume is the hallway you saw just outside. Just in front of you, from the entrance of the door, a few feet, sits a counter built into the wall, extending only a few feet out. A small piece of green cloth with yellow trapezoids sits hanging over the front of the counter, ever so slightly. Small white tassels hanging from the edges of this cloth that lines the counter. You hear coming to the door from the far right corner. The door opens, and coming in is a wide and big figure. Bits of incomplete armor pieces rest on a dirty tunic and a stitched leather helm, with long-running sideburn pieces sticks on one of the 2 heads. A golden pauldron, a gauntlet of iron on his left hand, boots of hide, brown patchy pants. You see that of a small humanoid Eton. But he is still wide and tall in stature. Both of the heads have muddy brown hair, darker, almost sickly sand-colored skin, and dull brown eyes. One head that sits on the left is a bit larger and seems to have a smile with surprisingly clean and whole teeth. The other seems to be smaller, shrunken, almost like a growth off the neck. One bug eye, the other smaller, and a tiny but creepy grin. As he walks up, his hands onto the counter. Well, hello. How may I help you?
This is the bigger head, yes?
Yeah. My name is Orville. Welcome to the shop.
The other head's name is like, was it Redenbacher? I'm very upset.
We are just.
And I'm Smag!
It's not Redenbacher. I've discovered this.
One moment. You see that he reaches into his pocket, takes out this small handkerchief and places it over the head.
Oh no.
Sorry about that. He gets kind of cranky.
Slowly gags him.
Point.
We don't even know how to like begin a proper greeting now. This is just so weird.
My name is Care, and this one is Coil.
Well, hello there. How may I help you?
He's like,
He
Dad.
hides behind Kara a little bit.
It's like, Dad.
Sorry to scare your kid there. Didn't mean to do that. I know I can be a scary guy.
It is completely fine.
Your eyes are weird. Is that okay for me to say? I'm sorry. I take that back. Your eyes are nice.
All of that is perfectly fine and understandable. Most humans do not have these.
He has
You're about as small as one, though.
He has weird eyes.
Yes.
He's bald too.
Jeez.
I feel very appreciated at just this moment. We're here for magical items
Why?
because we are travelers of sorts and we never know what we might have use for.
You see that he looks past you to the two taller tieflings. You guys are colorful.
In fact, we are. Yes.
While I suddenly have the attention not on me, I'm gonna like peel off and start looking at things. So I'm
Sure. A bit flustered.
How many more? Yeah.
You walk into the aisles of shelves, looking towards the walls and floating shelves built onto the walls themselves. Are you looking for something specific?
I'm just trying to get an idea of the general genre of items.
Tiny
they have.
rings, totems, small scraps and accessories of clothing. You see a few earrings, necklaces. These seems to be like jewels to trinkets, bits, baubles.
Anything labeled as to if it has particular properties or anything, or
This is much more of like walking into a Goodwill, like the
Got
toy
it.
section.
Got
where it's
it.
just like stuffed with things.
do I get any idea that any of these are magical, or am I walking through a dollar store?
You have no idea.
Radical.
You get the feeling that some of these things, like, yeah, this looks kind of like too expensive to be a fake. Like, you don't think these are literal toys. You think that there may be a purpose to some of them. And some of the things on the wall, like the large carpet and some other items that you notice, it would be kind of strange for them to be pinned up if they had nothing to them.
Fair enough.
You're intelligent enough to know these.
Continue on with those.
I
two
met a
conversations.
tiefling before, but he was like red, not green and purple.
We come in every color of the rainbow.
They are in the rainbow. That's true. You are accurate.
What type of assortments of magical items do you have here? Are they all sort of common and rare, or do you have up to like wondrous items?
Well, I've been told that I'm very special, so I'd like to think all of these items are special.
That's a fair point. They are magical, indeed.
And some of them are special. That thing, as he points to the aforementioned silver bullet-like piece with 2 backpack-like leather straps, he goes, that thing can make you fly.
Huh.
No.
I tried it once, it did not lift me.
What kind of duration?
I hovered.
What kind of duration does it have?
Lasted a few minutes with me. May last longer for someone a bit lighter. As he looks down to a very large pork belly, just to lay off the snacks.
Quill, just go.
How much is it?
Oh, that?
Yeah.
A lot.
How much a lot?
You see that he like reaches under the counter and he pulls up a sheet of paper and he goes, 2,000 gold pieces.
I'll come back later.
No, I am not raising your allowance. 2,000 gold pieces.
But I
I'm
want
gonna
to
start browsing around.
You have an allowance?
No.
One day.
The other side is weapons and armaments, if that's more your speed.
Alright.
This is much more for those of looking for something more than just armor weapons.
I'm a bit more into the trinkets and gadgets type of thing.
Then this is your place, most definitely. Forget I said anything. You want a plan, you plan here. Hitting things, which is much more my little brother's speed, is over there.
I'll start looking around.
Yep, that's right. I'm the big brother, born a half second before him.
Coil's trying to figure out in his brain out how that could have even happened.
Brain is trying to. Quill is trying to figure out how Babby is formed.
I'm 9, what is this?
Not gonna touch it.
So I guess, like,
I'm just still baffled.
I can
about
just start
this.
naming off description of items until you can find
yes,
something.
I think that might be the
Yeah.
thing to do, because I actually am not looking for anything in particular. Things that don't require athletic ability to use.
By the way,
Or maybe
where's
that
the-
grants athletic abilities.
Something that grants grants dexterity might be useful for a particular old man who is.
Okay, so for the sake of it, because
Okay.
this is much more of like the
King
grab
of
bag shop,
sleepwalking.
is go ahead and make an investigation check. Because this is just you kind of looking for things, and I'm going to name some stuff off depending on how high you get.
18.
18.
Investigation.
Okay. Anyone else going to want to hop in on this?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that DATH'TAN and SAAKA may be heading to the other side of the
No,
shop.
you know what? I'm gonna look around here.
Okay.
Investigation.
Yes.
Sure.
$19.
19.
24.
24. Okay.
Scratch that. It was not 24, it was 22. Yep. The layouts are different, so I mixed which ones had higher sets. But yeah, 22.
So, looking through, I'll say the tieflings kind of working together while Kier kind of browses by himself.
Okay. With 18, one thing that sticks out amongst like what looks to be a bunch of wooden carved toys is something carved and handmade of wood, but a bit more detailed. It looks to be like this small, round, spherical part that then has this tiny wooden connection to almost like a three-dimensional arrow tip, like a pyramid top. It is a bit longer, and along this wooden carved body has like circular imprints on each one of the three faces, along with a golden trim to it, like a golden metal lining across the pyramid itself.
Okay.
And then the bottom sphere, as you kind of like pick it up and look at it, has this tiny dark like gem in the center of the sphere. So it's almost like you're holding like a fancy spinner top.
Got it. I'm immediately intrigued by this unusual, not quite toy. Going to not pick it up, but like look at it closely.
Orville, what is
Yes.
this thing here?
You see he like tries to lean on, he walks up to you and tries to lean on the entire shelving, and as it begins to tip over, he like grabs it on one side and pulls it back over, shaking it. Some of the stuff falls to the ground. He goes, "Don't touch any of those things."
I won't.
Dude here just like
Yeah, you guys see one of the entire shelvings begin to tip before being pushed back over by a large hand, and it... Don't worry, nothing broke. I don't think.
It's dust.
See, as he takes it, he goes, give me a minute. After a few minutes of standing there, you think that he's kind of drooling on himself at some point. His head snaps to as his eyes flash with just a dull white color. And he goes, "Oh, this thing gets you around places pretty quickly. If you're a magic type, I'm thinking you're a magic type. Are you?
Yes.
All right, then this could work for you. Depending on how well or good you are, you point this in a direction, and it shoots off this end. Wherever this end lands, you suddenly are there.
How far can this travel?
It depends how good you are.
How far does it travel for you?
Decent. I'm sorry, did you want an exact number of feet?
A number of feet would be kind of helpful, but
I can go outside and shoot it, and we can find out.
I am so down for that.
Can I do it? Can I do
You're
it?
gonna have to give me 30 minutes.
To do it.
Can I do it? I want to go I want to go to orbit.
No.
Yeah.
I am intrigued by this, yes. Whenever you have time, I would like to see this in action.
I picked it up from a strange individual one day, and that's what he told me he did. So let's find out if he's true. See that he kind of goes and he slumps on the wall and just looks at it. While that's happening, you two, funny enough, actually come across what catches both of your eye is a dagger. Which at first you're like, well, this is kind of like a weapon. However, it looks like fragmented, almost chipped and broken across one side as it curls upwards and away from you. It is just fragmented, broken, but almost like that in design. It is much thicker than a normal blade. It just looks to be almost serrated in how it is broken and chipped. The thick steel is like quite hefty. And as you look at the hilt of it, it is this dark, almost seaweed green. And it has a blue gem at the very end of it. To finish off as the...
It doesn't
pommel.
have any sort of tag on it or nearby that says what it
No.
does. Care.
I'm coming.
While he's doing his thing, I'm gonna go and identify this for him.
then go identify 2 other things, I guess, with my spare time.
Okay, so this is something that these two both have discovered.
Cool.
As you cast Identify.
Okay.
This is called Whinger.
Okay.
It is a dagger that deals 1 point of damage and makes the cut about the size of a paper cut.
Okay.
But it forces the target to make a wisdom saving throw, and on a fail, the target starts uncontrollably crying.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
How long?
For a minute.
Uncontrollably crying for a minute.
I relay this information to Kelsion.
Probably the most horrifying death to kill a civilian in this way.
I don't know if I...
Not a lot of combative potential, but out of combat, I could see some uses.
I feel like a crying opponent might be easier to dispatch.
Yeah, but
I would feel bad.
I know, that's the other part is, if you were to dispatch an opponent, I'd rather have them fighting rather than just sitting there crying. Like, I'd feel bad at the end of that fight.
I nod as if understanding these emotions that you were having.
So what I'm getting is he would dispatch someone regardless of circumstance.
Oh, I find this blade funny. This is hilarious to me.
That's has prank potential written all over it.
Oh, yes it does, but that speaks more of him than me.
Imagine Jessidiah. What would a turtle look like if he cried? Does that work?
Very slow.
Do you cry slowly?
Right.
Cries in slow motion.
Yeah.
What if I do it to a whale? Does the whale cry?
Is these the kind of thoughts you have when you're alone?
You know, I was concerned about you, but now I think I'm a bit more concerned about him.
I agree.
About this time, like looking over with your own check, you do see what looks to be like this small brass crystal that is carved in the shape roughly of an anvil.
I want to go look at it.
You go pick it up. It is heavy. Like, this isn't like, wow, this has heft. This feels like you're holding something roughly 30 or more pounds.
So like you're holding coil
And
in
it's
one
about
hand.
the size of like the palm of your hand.
Hey, Gare, catch.
Catapult.
Okay. Hold this.
I'll do it.
I like, do you want me to identify this?
Well,
Yeah.
You have 0 strength, but you're not a wimp. It catches you by surprise. You feel like something's been pulled. As it...
I may or may not have a -1 strength.
I won't make you make a strength. Something hurts in your arm, but you do manage to at least hold it.
Yeah.
You not being able to hold 30 pounds meant that you would never have been able to pick up
That's
coil.
true. Like, I put this back on the shelf for like a second, like, okay.
I just have a giant smile on my face. It's just...
This is going to, like,
Hurt for 3 days.
Can I try to
Take
carry
out the sparrow and just hit him.
The small sparrow shows up, flutters its wings, turns and head dives straight into
It's
Kair's
like a-
chest. You didn't really lose a hit point, so you
No,
just feel
it's
better.
just-
Your arm
yeah.
is mended.
Cure my arthritis next, please.
I don't get that we do that.
All the running you've been doing, some flare-ups.
Oh, Lord. That's why I'm like a day of fighting, a month in the cart.
You also got ran over by a horse. So.
I got rammed into by a horse because I was trying to help.
Not good times.
Never good times. Never good times for Kay.
So are you casting Identify on this?
I figured it out, Jaron. I figured out what this thing does. It's heavy.
Kara's like, yes, we throw it at people.
Sure, I'll identify it.
Okay. It is called the Anvil.
Got it.
And upon taking an action to break it, you choose a target within 30 feet, and an anvil drops from the sky from 100 feet, making the creature make a dex save. And on a failed dex save, it does 10d10 bludgeoning damage.
Whoa!
Can I try to carry it?
It's literally just like crazy.
If we have enough gold to get it, the trickery cleric is getting it.
If I need someone very dead, that might prove useful.
So it just... That's also hilarious.
I'm concerned about this shop.
Thank you.
Oh no.
Can you do that stuff too? I've been looking for someone that could do that. As he walks up with a small trinket in hand.
In regards to identifying or
Yeah.
conjuring anvils. Okay.
Can you do that?
I can make a giant hand out of stone and dirt.
That's cool.
Sometimes that's in his head.
But yes, I can also identify. How much does this thing cost?
Pointing at the
That? Oh, that's about, he walks back to the counter, pulls a sheet of paper, looks over to it, looks back at the sheet of paper. 850 gold pieces.
Puts it back.
I don't need someone dead that much yet.
Yeah, Jesus. One day.
One day.
You'll make a lot of money.
One day I shall have money with which to dispose of my enemies in cartoonish ways.
What's next to the piano?
If Orville has a piano that does the exact same thing, I'm exiting this campaign. And re-entering the campaign as a Looney Tunes-esque rabbit or something.
Wily
He's
Coyote.
Wily, yeah, I was gonna say.
Wile E. Coyote, that's it. I am a druid.
No, it's just Wile E. Coyote.
Is there actually the piano?
No, I was actually double checking that my prices were correct. I was incorrect because there are two things with the name Anvil in it.
Is it cheaper?
That is, yeah, it is 300 gold pieces. The Anvil is 300 gold pieces.
Is to anything.
Is there another anvil?
You don't
And
know.
it's bigger? Was it due to like...
Yeah, one is just the Anvil spelled correctly, and one is in all caps, the Anvil. It's just a larger diamond.
It's got a trademark.
It's a real sized diamond.
Is there an easy way to get to the other half of the store, or do we have to go outside? Is this just
I prefer you go outside and go into the other door, and I'll just go through the hallway and I'll meet you at the counter.
It's the same person for the bug.
What do you expect?
Did you just realize this?
I thought it's the brother.
Oh, but I want to show you what the trinket does, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah, alright. He steps outside, and you see that he walks up the staircase that's just in front of his store, gets into the center of the street. Everyone! As he begins waving, people begin to slow and look at him. I need you to move!
I need you to clear the area.
I don't know how many feet. I need the center of the road! Most people are looking. Some begin to move out of the way. Some don't, but then seeing that he's waving an object in the air, they slowly begin to get to the sides of the road.
Everyone knows this man. I have a feeling everyone.
Some guys
Not the
walking.
first time.
Some guys just walking around the side of the road. He's like, fuck, not again. Third time this week.
Points it diagonally in the air.
Okay.
And he closes one eye. The top end of it, almost like a small rocket, shoots off.
Dome's coil.
Yeah, somehow it turns around, kills you. No, shoots forward down the road, and it travels for about 40 feet
Okay.
before hitting the ground. This trail of black and purple smoke follows this thing as it twists in the air. It's almost like seeing a firework just spin into a frenzy in a direction. As it hits the ground, Orville poofs out of existence and into existence. But as he stands there, you see that there is almost like this spectral version of him standing where he first shot. And where he first shot, he stands there, and it's almost like looking at like shifting papers or glass at this other version of himself that stands there, glowing this back and forth purple and black. And as he sits there, he goes, "Wait!" Points further down. At this point, he's 80 feet away, and there's two versions of him. And then you see that he takes one half, connected by a string to the second, claps it together, screws it closed, and in an instant, he teleports to the second, then the first.
That's cool.
And is where he's standing.
I have a certain friend who is probably very into this particular sort of thing.
Me. How much was it?
We haven't gotten a number yet. How much is it? Should you
You with numbers! He just walks past you, kind of like in a sassy teenager way, and brushes past. His door opens and slams closed behind him. And you hear him, "What?" Let me check the list.
Moody, this one.
It's like Napoleon Dynamite. God.
It's a good movie. I didn't even watch that.
Speak amongst yourselves, I'm looking through a long list.
So there's like 3 different people who would want to use this.
Is there anything that's
I have an idea on how to use it, but
less than like
I
100
have
gold?
other things I'm kind of looking for right now.
Because I'm
Plus,
broke.
I don't think he wants any more copies of me on the field.
That
No,
would be
you need more copies of
amazing.
you on the field. I would benefit a lot from running away, not so much for returning back. That seems like something that both you and COIL would get a little bit more out of.
Coil a bit more than me. I've got
You,
my own things I can do.
that's fair. At this point, I might should look into stuff that would be more useful to get people off of our trail, that kind of thing. Seeing as
Anti-scrying type devices?
anti-scrying or anti-tracking or things like that.
Aren't those two one and the same, scrying and tracking?
One involves footprints, the other involves magic bullshit.
Fair
Really
point.
putting it. Well said, wizard.
It's 700 gold, he says, poking his head out.
Thank you.
He just starts crying and closes his mouth.
He cuts himself that blade.
I am not that rich yet.
Was the gold that we got split, I think, 5 ways?
Yeah.
So that'd be 80%.
Yeah.
Once
he starts his magic on Wall Street teenager, he'll get rich enough to come back.
yeah, we would say start
About-
being the postal service.
About what level of knowledge would you say KELSION has with the names of magical items?
Not an incredible amount. Your expertise of what you used to do was much more on basic things that could just piss off the right people, such as paintings or things that were heirlooms to them.
here.
Do you have instruments like to play music with?
That's a good question.
You go back inside.
I open the door for him as he walks back inside.
I try to push the door open, but can't.
Kara opens it with the doorknob. He's still sitting there by the counter. How can I help you?
Do you have instruments? Like, stuff to play music with? He pulls out the mandolin over his shoulder and holds it out. Like this?
Nothing that big.
Do you have stuff like it?
I have like some instruments, yeah.
Can I look?
Sure.
Where are they?
He just looks to the stuffed shelves.
I'll find it.
I can help.
Okay.
Okay. He steps away from his counter and begins looking.
Two most awkward characters.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, shut up.
I'm gonna go into the other half of the other
Okay,
side
so
of
you
it.
step out.
Yeah.
Okay. One moment. So, within a minute or so, he pulls out like this.
But I don't know if my character knows outside out. So that's what I'm trying to judge.
He holds out like this
Hag of folding.
wooden. It kind of looks like
No.
Okay.
a
Forceful cube.
Sorry, I'm listening.
no problem. It looks like a whistle, but it is at first just like this thin circular blowpiece, but with a ram's head carved into it on either side.
What does it do?
Filters of love again.
You
It's an Aztec
when
death
you
whistle.
whistle through this side, the other side pushes people.
Ooh. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say that to give a more specific, it is the whistle of the ram horn,
Mhm.
and so pretty much every day, every new sun that rises, there is a total of 3 uses you can have, and you can use 1 charge or all 3 charges within its use. Each charge does 2d6 bludgeoning damage, and it is just a dex saving throw. So you do it. It is within a pretty much. It's a line, but it's like 10 feet wide line. So anything in a 10-foot wide line, 15 feet away, you can attack it.
Sick. How much is this one?
Wake up!
I like you, so I don't mind checking this time.
Oh.
Walks back to his counter.
Is it?
90 gold pieces.
I have 94.
Okay.
Can I get that, please?
He hands it over to you.
I give him the pouch. Like, hold it up with both hands.
He opens it and he picks out 4 gold pieces. His massive, giant, meaty palm of a hand
Big meaty claws!
reaches down and you pluck the 4 out, and he dumps the gold out and hands you back your pouch.
Thank you.
I'll send you a full description after session.
Okay.
And I don't think you need to spend time with it. You can just use it.
Okay.
Uses it right here in the shop.
He gives a wave and then runs off like a child who just got a new toy.
Alright.
Of course, the Zoomer gets the ability to kill people with an air horn.
That's actually amazing. Have a good day, mister. He says as he runs off.
Oh, that's cute. Should he be holding while running? As for DATH'TAN. As the bell rings on the right door, those of you that are in the left side, you see that Orville's head quickly turns and he begins lumbering off towards that side. We're closed! Leave, please. Going to the other side.
Okay.
We'll come back.
Yeah. After I leave and go to the other side just to see now.
You enter this right room, and you see that you are in a weapons and armor shop. The wooden boarded floors and walls are filled with elegant made items and armor, surprisingly so for the figure you've been dealing with so far. You are right next to the right wall. So you are like in the right bottom corner of the shop as you enter. My phone just gave me a strange notification. Please get out of here. Thank you.
Okay.
But to your left, there are 4 large, dense-looking weapon racks holding an assortment of different types of daggers, spears, swords, and even more that line the walls. You also see armor stands and mannequins holding single pieces of apparel, from gauntlets to just a hood and a cape. On floating shells similar to the one on the other, you see several accessories, small rings and gloves that look of better make than the other room that you saw before. You see on the walls, hanging on pins or nails, there are weapons and shields of a much higher craft than the ones that you see on the ground floor. A table off in the far left corner, shoved up against the wall, is placed just in front of a wide door leading into the hall, which you see now is being pushed against by Orville. He goes, "Sorry, brother's being a jerk," as he pushes in. The table skirts away as he opens the door from the hallway. Stupid snag. As he walks in, sorry, and he takes the handkerchief off and he puts it over his head. The small little head just shakes his eyes awake. Hello!
Told you.
He looks so defeated.
I expect more.
I'm Snag and I like weapons.
Oh my.
Do you?
Yes.
Yay!
Oh boy.
I love this character already.
I told you.
This is okay. What do you have here to offer?
Lots of things.
I can see that.
What do you want?
What would you think would fit me? Or suit me?
Oh no.
Ah!
He just starts scanning the room. He looks you up and down. He moves away
He's
from
trying
the
to
counter.
keep a straight face, but it's really hard. It's like the slight smirk.
You do see that there is another similar counter just like the one on the other side that is just a few feet from the entrance door, and this figure has walked up to it, looked to you, and then he turns and walks over to the weapon racks. Looks about, then he looks to the mannequins.
Weapon or armor?
Armor.
He begins looking towards the mannequins, each one with a different set. Has everyone else come in and joined. As the door rings, he looks and goes,
Oh,
as you all walk in. He looks at SAAKA and then he looks at DATH'TAN. Big creepy grin with few teeth that is held within a tiny just growth of a head.
Green.
That's not the first time that's happened. Right? No?
What?
I don't know. I don't know. That's happened before.
He walks over to one mannequin. You guys all right?
I'm very worried about you, Jaron.
I am enjoying
I don't know why.
I just realized-
I just feel like I'm being judged, guys.
I just realized that nobody told Coil where they were even going, so he's just confused.
Yeah, you just said you ran off, and I was
No, I thought,
into the town. He terrorizes the people with a new whistle.
Wow.
dude.
Dude. 2d6 dude damage.
That's
More like 2 dude 6.
2d6.
I swear to drunk we're not God, officer. Not today.
One of us might be.
Maybe next week. I'm just kidding.
I'm down.
Who are you?
Every time we roll in that one drink. Stop.
You see that he
I
walks up to
invoke
one
the power of
mannequin.
the eye.
Who needs livers in my UA clothes?
You see that he walks up to one mannequin as he is looking at you, and one of these mannequins has nothing more than something that is curling up the forearm all the way to the bicep area. And it looks to be this dark steel scaled, like long serpent dragon made of metal that coils around the arm. As he goes to it, he goes, "This!"
And what does it do?
What this does?
I'm not going to use this voice for the entire
Oh
session.
no! Please do. Please do.
Listen up, fuckers!
Toad here! Yeah.
It's like a possessed Elmo in here. Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
The audio
Sorry,
spiked
everyone.
multiple times.
Bass boosted Toad.
When attuned to this,
Oh lord.
you get a resistance to a damage type of your choice between a certain amount.
I'm not going to do it. Oh, screw it. My voice is becoming too hoarse. Pretty much. You choose a resistance of one of the colors of a dragon, and you are also able to cast Dragon's Breath.
Dragon's Breath is a good spell, actually.
Of the damage type you decided to resist from.
Ooh.
It is an attunement slide.
More resistant to things.
I am double resistant
as a word of warning, it does lock it. You cannot change it once you choose it.
Oh,
It locks
So
it down.
it's just law. Okay.
So whatever you choose upon attuning is the thing that you better have been like, yeah,
and
this
is
is
it
it.
like from like the wrist to like mid?
It is like from the top of the wrist, there's almost this, it's almost like looking at a feathered tail of a bird, but it is somewhat scaled like a fish, and then curling all the way up like a dragon-like serpent, almost like a Chinese dragon. It curls all the way up for the head to be open and the eye to also be like open, but no iris. It is just like a bump, almost like a statue.
Okay. How much?
Let me check the list. I don't know why you guys are worried about me. I have no idea why.
It's your sanity that we worry about.
Do we though?
That has
I
left me
mean,
a long time ago.
It's like,
The
it's
DM
like-
spent the entirety of this week preparing for the session, and it's just him talking to himself in his room in that voice.
Normally, it's what it is. Yeah.
It's not
Only
untrue.
Snag's voiced, no other voice.
No other voice.
I just talk to myself as Snag.
310.
That is a bit much out of my range. Okay.
He just bought a Brad.
Actually, no, I did not buy the
You
horse.
did?
I did not buy the horse.
No, I thought you bought Brad.
Okay.
You didn't buy it? Who
No.
bought Brad?
CAEDRIK bought most of the horses.
Yeah.
Cedric bought most of the horses,
So-
and now Cedric owes me money.
With the shop, is it a bit more organized and items are placed together.
This is
more
much
organized?
more organized. Like I said, there's 4 weapon racks that make several different aisles off to the left of you from the main entrance. As like it is main entrance counter off to the left of you. It is 4 weapon racks, and lining the walls, at least the base of the walls, are mannequins with different pieces of apparel and clothing. And up on the walls, there are like installed floating shelves that have rings or gauntlets that are much more well defined. They are not like tagged, but they are not just like thrown onto it and like Goodwill kids section. And then up on the walls themselves, pinned by like nails or smaller pins that like you can kind of see, are much more. What you could tell is like if this stuff is kind of pricey, this is probably big boy money stuff. It's like large great swords, axes, pieces of armor and shields.
Going over to more or less what would be the shield section. Browsing through them, do any of them resemble the Banishing Shield from the Nameless Graveyard?
Looking through them,
Good thought.
no.
Okay.
No, not anything that you see.
Wait. Didn't the brother say he saw a red tiefling?
Yes. But we don't.
Have you by chance had a red tiefling come in and offer to sell a couple items?
I don't know.
Your brother might have seen him instead.
Maybe?
He-
I'm in charge now!
Last time we go back to
One
the
bug
other
eye
side.
opens wide and stares at you.
If we go back to the other shop, we can get the brother.
That might be necessary. Yes.
Kavai gets in a wrestling match with him to like put one side of the handkerchief over on the
Kavai
As a
Solin
lid.
throws the pack.
What?
Fight bursts through the front door going, it's go time!
Sorias was the arsonist the entire time.
Yeah, villains of this campaign, heroes of last campaign.
I would hate to fight myself.
I would not want to be anywhere near myself.
Yeah.
My
I
bad.
would
The
have
menagerie.
Level 4 bard versus a level 17 monk.
Bite literally kills
I'm
me in
just a-
one turn.
Pretty sure
It's a child.
Sorias can kill all of us with one
A
slap.
monk would just kick the crap out of this literal child.
I'm pretty sure she could destroy me in one punch.
Mhm.
Turn me to ash.
Anyways,
Alright.
you see that looking at
to
you, the
pace.
small head goes over to another mannequin that's closer to the door. You see it is a set of armor that seems to be thick, woven, padded armor set with a deep brown, almost dark brown fur trim along the neck. Extending out of this fur collar is what seems to be like the bottom jawbone of some sort of animal as it extends out and meets in the middle a few feet out from the main armor itself. A small half cape, tattered at the end, hangs from it in pure black as it sits there with longer sleeves that, upon closer look, is dark brown like the armor itself, but seems to be woven out of like tiny chainmail.
That's wicked.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Your guess is as worse as my identify.
It's true.
Alright,
What is this?
It's fun!
What does it do?
Ah! One moment.
So he
Oh, no.
begins drawing runes into the air. 10 minutes later, everything good, Kelsio?
Internally, I'm not sure how I feel about this guy knowing how to cast magic.
As as he finishes the spell, his eyes flash once again.
This armor doesn't count as armor.
The wizard looks.
Wizard has your full attention.
It allows a variety of things.
I cannot. do
Go
that
for it, buddy.
voice.
Just do
Ah.
normal.
Yeah.
Don't
okay.
die.
No, please.
Yeah.
I can do the voice on behalf.
No, thank you. I'm alright.
Is it though?
Let's not let this just devolve into us screaming at each other at this point.
Looking at the audacity.
Well, I'm trying to remember to drop down the gain so it
Losing
doesn't
my
peak.
mind.
We're gonna have that.
Edit.
No, that's one of the easier parts.
Okay.
Okay, what does it do?
I'm gonna bass boost and make it even louder. It's fun.
So it does a thing.
Okay, what does it do?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, please.
Get back on topic.
sure.
I'll serenade the audience after the outro.
Huh?
After their death.
What?
So this is simply called Beastbane.
You think they got dark colors?
Stop!
I bet the other side does, and I bet if he tried to make him wear it, he would kill us all.
Wrong.
Yeah, I would let it.
Wrong
take me to
campaign,
murder
buddy.
all of you.
Whoa.
This is
I didn't know you were into that, Kelsion.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound
I mean,
atrocious
he did
without
say he did
context.
all of his talking for him, so.
While wearing this armor, any
I didn't know your relationship was like quite that. I mean, good for you guys.
Shut up.
any cursed individual, any beast, any beastly humanoid, so one that shares the same, any fey creature or thing that identifies as beast something. You crit it on an 18, 19, or 20. No cursed individual can wear it. You gain 1 hit point per level that you have.
SAAKA, do you want to crit a very specific minority of people
And grants +1 to AC.
and be slightly tougher while you do so?
That's pretty rad.
You want to crit a really specific member of our party.
So
Very
things that
specific.
things that are
not
cursed
everybody.
or things that count as beasts, you crit on 18, 19, or 20.
Why is everyone
Also
looking at me
Fey,
now?
so
I mean, 2 members.
goat
of the party.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Satyrs count as Fey, not humanoid.
There we go.
Do we
So
need to
any
kill
beast, whatever,
No.
and fey, and
Not yet.
cursed. So
At least I think so. Are you using the Mythic Odysseys of Theros version of Satyrs, or is it
Satyrs are
another
Fey.
version? Ah, okay. You could smite 2
That's on
people
you.
with that party.
Yeah.
Hmm?
You could easily murder 2 people of the party.
I don't think you can afford this, but I can make you a deal.
Oh boy.
Go on.
you see that he sighs before taking the handkerchief off one side to the other. No. Well, I miss. He looks to the armor. I'm here.
Your younger brother was about to make us a deal for this.
Oh, there was a red tiefling that had items I wanted,
Ah,
but she wanted something from me, and I don't think I could give it to her, being honest. So,
Whomstu?
she offered me a deal of if I find a
champ to best her in the fight pits, then
I'm going
I
to
get the items.
I'm going to
and
guess she
I took her
looks-
up on it, not realizing that I can't fight that well. So if my brother is not lying, I guess he wanted a deal.
Did she look like this by chance?
And I use the minor illusion cross.
Yeah,
So-
exactly like that.
I thought so.
I was trying to stay away from the fight pits. I was trying to stay away from the fight pits.
You can never stay away
But the fight pits
from the
found
fight
you.
pits. Yeah.
I don't want to force you into anything. Sorry.
Money, good. Poverty, bad.
SAAKA's lessons on economics has been complete.
Stonks!
Okay. What am I gonna get out of this money?
Well,
You get to pummel
Fight
the
pits.
thief that
you
stole
get
from us.
yes.
You get to
She stole from you? What'd she steal?
Those items.
The
A shield and a
items.
cloak.
No, those items are mine.
a shield and a cloak.
Shield and cloak.
That does sound familiar.
Is it the items that she was trying to give?
Yeah, it did look like that.
That sounds about right.
Those items are ours.
Those items are yours?
Yes.
I didn't see your name on them.
Believe me, I could show you.
I'm still trying to figure out where everyone went. I've just been wondering.
Roll your character. You're gone forever. No.
It's too late.
Distracted by catnip.
Yeah.
What did you do again?
Well, I wanted her items,
Yes.
and she wanted way too much money for them. So I tried to make a deal with her, and she's mean. She wanted to fight me, and I told her I wouldn't, but I knew someone really tough that would.
Your brother?
I mean, he's scary, but I don't know if he can fight too well.
Oh, yikes.
So
Oh.
I think the deal is this
Yeah.
for the items.
My
You're
dice.
in a predicament of you have to find someone
Oh,
to
I hate
fight
those.
her. You might have to.
Did I do something wrong?
You know, I think I'll pass. Might have to find another big person to fight her. I don't.
Since it would be... Hold that real quick. Since it would be... You're getting 2 magical items, would you be willing to throw in another item from your shop in return? A 2 for 2.
Make a persuasion check.
Right? You can just pin me out right now?
You didn't say you're the one to go fight the pit. We have other
Yeah.
fighters
Yeah,
who can
yeah.
fight the pit.
Yeah, Kira's got this.
Are you missing him
Kira
out there?
fist fights whoever is the champ.
I'll do it.
I walk in the thing,
I'm not even-
and then like phantasmal horse and hide in the corner.
Really hope that D20 roll goes well for you.
Mach 20.
Uses Maximilian's earthen grasp
Sure.
to make a rock for him to hide behind.
I don't think we have need for that particular piece of equipment, personally, but
This armor and you get something else.
Yes. Do you mind if we choose that second item upon giving you the 2?
Sure,
Alrighty.
as long as I have them. But who's fighting for me?
we will reach that decision at a later time.
Ah,
We have these 3 here, plus some other fighters.
That's fair. That's fair. I like that.
I'm not certain. I'm not certain he even reached a conclusion.
Just agree with it.
You can come back at any time.
Would we get the armor first before fighting them?
It's not going
No.
That's not how that's going to work.
I think. Yeah, no, I thought I said afterwards.
Bummer.
Bummer.
Alright.
It's really cool armor, guys.
Then you better fight well if you really want it. Or do you want Levi to fight for you?
Who's Levi?
DATH'TAN. I saw a Star Wars shirt and I'm like, nerd with shirt, that's Levi.
Gee, thanks. I feel appreciated.
Node with shirt as opposed to the node not wearing a shirt.
I mean, I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on here.
Is it kind of like a leash too?
Yeah,
Like,
you did say he does all his talking.
So?
does that mean the other one's gagged, or what's the?
Shut the fuck your mouth. I hope you step on your metal D4.
I think that's what happened when he was, in the forest in the form.
Good for them.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, there's
That's
a
good,
lot
I'm
of
not
tying
there.
up going on.
I can't wait till I get modified memory.
Me too, buddy. I have so much PTSD I need to fix.
Not my own.
Not my own. For this one.
Aw.
Are you modifying your own or ours?
Everyone.
I'm not upset at that.
So, as soon as those spells are acknowledged by those two, you two are gonna Men in Black each other and not even understand what happened. What were we doing?
They
Am I
for-
missing a spell slot?
Yeah.
They forget that they've already erased memories and they just get complete amnesia.
Okay, so there's a bunch of neat things, none of which you really, not many of which we really have the money to interact with at just the moment.
Because we power.
Because we POW. So we should probably go interact with other things.
Yeah. We'll be back.
I would
We'll
like
be
to go
back.
to a general store.
General store,
Yeah.
need to get rations. I have
Rations, another water skin.
water skin we need to fix. I don't know who has. I need to fill up my healer's kit.
There's a few things that we need out of the general store.
And seeing as it is 8:30,
It's past our bedtimes.
it is past my bedtime. It's true.
I think it's time to wrap up for the night, guys.
All right.
So as you say your goodbye to Orville, who sees you out of the shop with a large smile and grin, you step back out into the day that is yours in Rebton. To go fill up things at the general store for rations, other items. You feel like it will be simple enough to accomplish. Besides that, as you go and refill some of your packs and kits, we can expedite those for the most part. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And until next time, see you later.
Night.